It's time for Twig This Week in Google. Jeff Jarvis is here, Stacey Higginbotham, and a snake named Sheila. We'll explain that a little bit later. But next, This Week in Google. Stay right here.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
This is Twig, This Week in Google, episode 492, recorded Wednesday, January 23rd, 2019. What doesn't kill you makes you viral. This Week in Google is brought to you by Grammarly. Grammarly is a communication tool that helps people improve their writing to be mistake-free, clear, and effective. Start writing confidently by going to Grammarly.com/twig and get 20% off a Grammarly premium account today. And by Calm, the #1 app to help you meditate, sleep, and relax. Start 2019 off right with Calm. For a limited time, get 25% off a Calm premium subscription at calm.com/twig. It's time for Twig. This Week in Google, the show where we get together and talk about whatever's on our minds. Sometimes with Google, Facebook, Twitter, the internet, media, journalism, and Jeff Jarvis. It's all part of the plan. Jeff would normally be in Davos right now.
But the Effers took me off the list.
The Effers? So you used to get a press pass to go to...
I was a member of the International Media Council.
Nice.
But
now you're not?
I brought them no money. Well, supposedly I am, but I brought them no money, so they used my seat for somebody else.
Yeah. That's fair.
That, and I apparently like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and they don't.
Oh, really?
Says the Washington Post, yes. So.
Wait a minute, Davos...
The billionaires don't like her.
Davos has an opinion. Yeah, I would bet 70% marginal tax rate would be a sticking point for some of them.
Washington Post just did a story about how her name comes up often, which is a reason to like her.
That's Jeff Jarvis, professor of journalism at the City University of New York. Also here, Stacey Higginbotham. She covers IoT for Stacey on IoT.com and does a great IoT podcast with Kevin Toffel. Hi, Stacey.
And she's stuffy and has a scarf to keep her throat warm.
I have to say,
are you feeling okay? Are you feeling bad, or is it just kind of irritating?
I'm not feeling my best.
She's got a little cold.
Oh, I'm sorry, Stacey.
This is going to be sad, Stacey.
This is a diminished Stacey. Yeah, no.
Thank you for. Let me just ask. Hey, what do you think of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez? Do you have an opinion? No, the 1% don't like her. But, you could still win with 99% of the vote. That's the key. So Google, we just got an update from Stacey Higginbotham, who brought us this breaking news. Google has been fined, we knew this, by the French regulator for privacy, CNIL, as Jeff says, CNIL, $50 million for violating GDPR. Stacey says Google has announced it's going to fight.
I can pull up a story for you.
50 million euros, which is about $57 million. Now, actually, if I read this properly, CNIL explained Google had violated two provisions of the law. This is according to Ars Technica. First, by not making its data collection policies easily accessible enough. They didn't contend that the policies weren't available to end users. It's just that there were too many different places. It was too difficult to find. And then second, by not obtaining sufficient and specific user consent for ad personalization, CNIL said it has to be every single place you're doing it. You can't just say, in general, do you mind if we collect data about you for personalizing ads? You have to say it at YouTube. You have to say it at Google Maps. You have to say it in Hangouts. You have to say it every single service.
Irritating as hell. Plus, so that's only because Google is more split up than other things. But should the New York Times, should the Le Monde have to ask your permission in the food section and the book section,
right,
and the news section and the sports section? It's basically equivalent.
Well, it isn't, though, because that all comes in a package called a newspaper.
Not anymore, it doesn't.
What?
Online.
Online.
But online you still
have
have
a site. Yeah.
You go to the same site. And Google doesn't, I mean, Maps is owned by Google, and Android maybe not, but all the other Google properties, you are aware that they're owned by Google.
Google changed this, remember. We talked a lot about it a couple of years ago when Google unified their privacy policy across the board for all of its services. YouTube was the big one that hadn't for a long time, that really run separately. They incorporated all of it together. And obviously, from Google's point of view, it makes sense to aggregate a bunch. This happens a lot in media, where you'll aggregate a bunch of different kinds of platforms or media or into one thing because it's easier to sell that big thing and then spread it out. Now, who is Max Schrems? Because this complaint...
He is an Austrian who has been the thorn in the side of all the platforms, especially Facebook, but also Google, where he's done projects, stunts, where he shows how much the platforms follow him, or he showed how his phone followed him everywhere, and so he's a provocateur, and he ends up then filing suits on behalf of all Europe against the various platforms.
So he says in this article by ours, following the introduction of GDPR, we have found that large corporations such as Google simply interpret the law differently and have only superficially adopted their products. It is important the authorities make it clear that simply claiming to be compliant is not enough. He runs an organization called NOYB.EU, Not Your Business, or None of Your Business.eu. He's also complained against Instagram, WhatsApp, and Facebook. Those are all pending. So I think there is room for appeal here, because they're not saying Google doesn't tell people. They're just saying that they don't make it easily
Which would think that there'd be a step. I don't know what happened, what Keneal did. There's two questions. Was there a step here where Keneal said, guys, you're not doing this right, and then there was a chance to remedy? And then second,
no, that's what the
GDPR
GDPR is. They passed a law, and the next step once you pass a law is to start enforcing the law. So that's the answer to your first question. So this is the act of enforcement. And then the second.
Is it not the first time somebody's been fined under GDPR, or no?
No, there have been some smaller fines in different countries.
One of the questions we had last year when GDPR became law, and one of the things a lot of people said is, well, let's wait and see how they enforce it.
Yeah, because they were
the burden
very
going to be placed?
Quiet. They were very quiet about how they were going to enforce it. And different data protection agencies have different... They are each able to enforce it, right?
Well, that was my next question, Stacey.
And none of them, prior to actually the law being passed, none of them gave any indication of how they were going to do this. So what's happening here is, this is how the law works. You pass a law, and then you're like, and Google.
Well, but sometimes,
Google and
Stacey,
Facebook knew that they were going to be the target.
Sometimes, and I think GDPR had this. Isn't there kind of this process where under the law you're warned, offered an opportunity to remediate, then if you don't, then
that's the safe harbor stuff around copyright.
Yeah, I don't think
that's GDPR.
Has that.
But Stacey, my real question is this: so the French are fining Google. Can the Germans and the Norwegians and the Dutch also fine Google under the same law? I thought it was EU was now under one.
I don't know. So every country has their own group that monitors this. So I don't. Yeah, I don't know if you can be fined multiple times. That is an excellent question that you would have to ask a lawyer. But would you like Google's statement?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Here is what a Google spokesperson said in a statement. We've worked hard to create a GDPR consent process for personalized ads that is as transparent and straightforward as possible, based on a regulatory guidance and user experience testing. We're also concerned about the impact of this ruling on publishers, original content creators, and tech companies in Europe and beyond. Dun, dun, dun.
And we should point out that this is not the full extent of the fine. They could have levied a fine up to 4% of the global revenue.
2%,
yes.
I thought, of global.
4%. It's 4%.
Which would have been $4 billion. This $50 million is, frankly, Google could easily pay it. I think this is appealing it is on principle.
And they should. I mean, this is how we figure these things out. I mean, this regulation hasn't been tested in court. I think one could argue that a $57 million fine is either, tied to I guess, how badly the French regulators feel that Google has screwed up. So maybe they're like, this isn't a huge thing, but it's kind of a thing, Google. So let's get this fixed. So there's a lot of different ways you could interpret this.
So here's the question, and this isn't a legal question, but I think it speaks to the issue. Does why doesn't Google make it clearer? Why don't they just say, okay, fine, we'll put a pop-up everywhere? Why don't they make it clearer? And do people really not know what's going on? Do they need to make it clearer? Is Google not doing a good job? Completely independent of the law.
Information. I think it's really hard. So I was actually talking to a company just before I did this show about how they could improve their security, how they could improve communications around their data collection and security practices. And, the solution I came up with is actually doing some sort of interactive quiz and incenting people to take it to get what is actually informed consent, right? And I think it's just so overwhelming to contemplate these things. We don't have a language for plain language for a lot of these issues, right? And every company is worried, or many companies are worried about the risk of scaring people if they actually explain kind of some of the risks and things, because people will read the worst into it. So there's like a business fear here. It's really hard to get informed consent over something as complicated as how someone like Google might use your data from different services. And then 3, readers or users aren't actually going to click through it. So I think that's why that's a real issue that we just have to solve, and no one's sure how.
Because it's my opinion that Google doesn't care if they have to put it up everywhere, because they think most people don't. They go, yeah, and go on with. They're not going to do anything about it. That there's no harm, and I bet you they have data to show this.
Yeah, and other services you might say, this is not worth it, and leave. But Google, you're not going to leave.
Right, and Google knows they're going to do fine no matter what. You could. It's like cigarettes. You could put all the warnings on the cigarette pack you want. You're still going to sell them. And I think
let's be honest. This is a political act. Why? So I put up in the chat. There were other fines. There were 4 other examples that I put in the chat.
Yes.
No, I can't find them.
I have the link here.
Okay, good.
That you put in
a
here.
Portuguese hospital was fined €400,000 after the staff used bogus accounts to access patient records. A German social media and chat service was €20,000 for storing social media passwords in plain text. Local business in Austria was fined $4,800 for having a security camera that was filming public space, which I think is all over Europe, but be that as it may. But the problem is we didn't know any of that. That didn't make any big splash. It's a political act. Now the whole world knows about GDPR being Keneal's business because they went after Google or Facebook
That's not
or Twitter.
True.
Oh, it's a political act.
Okay, it's not just a political act. Google and Facebook have the most to lose in some ways. I mean, they're what people care about. So in that sense, yes, but they're also some of the biggest vacuum cleaners out there sucking up our data and using it. And so if you can get Google and Facebook to comply with GDPR, there's going to be a couple of effects. 1, people will feel more secure overall. 2, Google and Facebook could develop or open source technology that makes it easier for other companies to adopt, to be compliant with GDPR. They have all the smart people in the room. Some Portuguese hospital, no.
Well,
they don't have.
I think this is really telling. If you look at what previous fines have been, they've been for things we would all agree are really egregious breaches of trust. The staff used bogus accounts to access patient records. The social media passwords stored in plain text. A security camera filming public space. These are really
that last one's kind of weird.
Okay, you're right. It's a public space, but no, anyway, you could say, okay, that's as good. This is stuff privacy regulation should definitely address. But you could say with the Google thing that's like, well, Google, you're just not open enough. It's not like, I'll tell you, you want a fine?
Yeah.
Here's a fine. This just came out, and this is incredibly infuriating. This morning we learned that a database with more than 24 million financial and banking documents from some of the biggest banks in the U.S. was online in the clear with no login, no password. Anyone could access it. It was exposed for 2 weeks. An independent security researcher found it as soon as TechCrunch asked banks, who's this? Whose customer service information was it? The database was shut down January 15th, just a week ago. The leak was traced back to a company that a third party the financial industry uses. They among the services they provided, this company Ascension converts paper documents and handwritten notes into computer readable files. It's an OCR company. So they did OCR for these banks, and some big banks, by the way, including Citi Financial, HSBC Life Insurance, Wells Fargo, Capital One, and the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. These records were online. They included not everything: Social Security numbers, checking account numbers, names, address, birth dates, loan agreements. Look at this is a sample record. The kinds of stuff. This was all in the public. Now that should have an egregious fine. That's a breach, just like the four you talked about before. Except, well, maybe not the security camera, but. Well, that, to me, is a really good look. Admittedly, they can prosecute anything they want, but why isn't Keneal go? I mean, this is the kind of thing I think GDPR not.
Well, that's in the U.S. and they will prosecute those things, but they also, this law has a bunch of. This is not just, hey, you're storing your passwords in a crappy way. This law is supposed to help inform and let users control their data, and that's why they're going after a variety of cases. I mean,
so Leo, do you have a tunnel bear or something on your machine there? Can you go act as if you're in France, or Germany, or UK would be
not
better?
Not readily, not easily.
Oh, okay. So I want to see what I want to see if I go in to one of these services. What does it give me? Because here's the thing. Stacey, I was going to say this a minute ago. Google has the best darn lawyers you can imagine. So you've got to believe that they went over this with a fine-tooth comb and came up with their view of the best of practice, most defensible implementation of GDPR they could imagine. They weren't going to screw around. It's not worth it for them to screw around with this.
Right.
And I think what you said before is right. There's a hunger here. There's an appetite for a.
This is a judgment call.
This
isn't a blatantly obvious breach of public trust. This is a judgment case.
Right. Well, this is establishing the boundaries of the law, and I think,
well, I think but it is. I mean, look, come on, it's definitely political. It's political
in the sense that creating laws is political. It's political in the sense that they have an agenda when they created this law. They created the law, and now they're going forth with that agenda. So,
well, that's what bothers me, because if the agenda is let's take down these big United States,
the agenda really isn't that. The agenda really is to let people have more access and control over their data and how it's used. Unfortunately, no.
I sat in Keneal's office. And I heard
this is the French regulator who's
just went after them. With the head of it, I've had long conversations with her, and I think she's a very reasonable and smart person. But other people around the table, politicians and regulators and such, there is an appetite to bring down the big guys. I got to agree with Leo on this one. And they're looking for that opportunity. I don't think there was anything egregious that Google could have done in this case. Oh my God, how can they not go after Google? Leo's right. It's a dial. Oh, it's not prominent enough. It's not frequent enough. We'll define enough, and I'll bet the law, this is where they're going to win in court, the law is probably not going to be explicit enough, because their lawyers, I'm sure, did a good job and said, here's what the law says about enough, and here's what we're doing. Maybe a little more, but that's all.
Do you think, Stacey, that Google flouted the law? Or is it flaunted? Flouted. Did Google flout the law?
They flaunted flouting the law.
After they threw down the gauntlet.
By the way, there was a great discussion about the difference between flout and flaunt on Reddit. They were talking about concealed carry, and the whole thing started by somebody said, what did they do in the Wild West about people carrying their guns? Did just everybody have a gun on their hip? And ultimately it came down to, I thought, the perfect sentence, which was they flouted the ordinance by flaunting their ordinance. Think about it.
Give it to me again.
No, I got it. I thought you switched your ordinances.
They
and so that's
flouted
why I was
the
like,
ordinance by flaunting their ordinance.
Yes. Ordinance is another word for ammunition.
And they
I thought it was ammunition.
Is it?
Any weaponry.
I think it's any weaponry. It's mounted
okay.
guns, artillery. So they flouted, in other words, blew off the ordinance, the law, by flaunting, because they were saying
I think
that was why the shootout at OK Corral happened, is because the whatever boys wouldn't put their guns up as they went into town, so Wyatt Earp had to shoot them.
Okay, it's ordinance is the
It's the
law.
law. They flouted
Ordinance.
the ordinance by flaunting their ordinance.
Yes, that's what was confusing me at first, because
Yes.
you had the
Now, if they'd been ordained, we would have had a whole nother conversation. Anyway, did Google flout
Lord.
GDPR? Like, did they say, oh, screw that, we're never
I
going to
don't
get
think
fined?
so.
No, they did the best
I
they
think-
thought they could do without.
I think they did the minimum they thought they could do.
So that's the
which
question.
is what I would expect.
So that's
I think
the
they did
question.
the minimum they thought they could do.
So
Yes.
I don't
Right, so there's
think,
a
frankly,
disagreement about the requirement.
What's
That's
the
where
minimum?
we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how laws.
No,
I mean,
yeah.
that's what we do.
That's why you
This
go
is
to court.
This is how that discussion
that's why you
happens.
go to court, yeah. And then the court will decide.
Or they'll settle. I mean, they'll sit down in the room and France will be like, we're really pissed off about this. And Google will be like, I don't care. And France is like, I'm going to fine you. They're like, fine, we'll talk.
Yeah. It'd be my guess, Google is willing to put up whatever notice, at least for the first part, put up whatever notices they're required to put up. But they understand that it's annoying, like this cookie law that we have to put up with. It's annoying to users to see these. So they said, well, what would be the minimum compliance with the law that would not annoy our users? And this is what they decided. And then Keneal said, no, that's not enough. We want more. Or Max Schrems. We want more. And I don't. So what I'm saying is, I don't think Google's acting in bad faith here. Because honestly, I think if Keneal came back and said we want something like the cookie rule, Google would say, "Oh, you guys are idiots," but they would do it because you know what? It wouldn't make any difference to their business in the long run.
So I signed on to TunnelBear as if I'm in the UK, but it's not working very well. Waiting for Proxy Tunnel. Never mind.
You need ExpressVPN. I find VPN
I do need
sponsor.
it. I in fact do need that, and I was thinking about doing that after the last sponsorship because this doesn't work.
The less you pay for VPN, the slower it is.
Boy, this
Anyway,
is not working.
I think this is it's certainly not the last time we'll have this conversation. The reason I asked the questions that I asked is Google evil here, or is it just a question of interpretation? And I don't think Google's being evil. I think that they're, they just.
Right. I
interpret it
think
differently.
where Stacey and we are disagreeing only on degrees too, is that she's saying that they want a test case, and this is a test case, and that's what they're going to do, and we're arguing that it's a little more politically motivated than Stacey would agree. Would that be true, Stacey?
Yes.
I don't diminish Stacey. Scares me.
Okay.
That was so timid.
No, this is
Yes.
like my brain.
Yes.
It's
Oh,
thinking.
No,
so
poor
hard.
Yes.
Stacey.
Sorry. Yes. No. Yes. Yes. Okay, I'm going to stop. We should talk about something else.
Yes. No, I think we've really flattened this one. There's we've squeezed the life out of it, much like this ball python has squeezed
Oh,
the
is it
life
still there?
out of my keyboard. Yes.
Is it happy? How do we know if it's happy?
Well, it's yawning a lot. Now, there's some debate among ball python fans if the yawning is because it's sleepy or because it's measuring my head to see if it can swallow me.
Oh my gosh, that would make such great television. Think about your ratings, Leo.
Where'd Leo go? Right there. He's in the middle.
I mean, it's not going to kill you, but in the meantime, the clip is going to go viral.
What doesn't kill you makes you slimy.
Makes you go viral.
Yeah, makes you go viral. That's good. You know what? That's the new YouTube generation. Screw Nietzsche. We got YouTube. What doesn't kill
that
you
could be
makes
a
you go
show title.
viral.
What doesn't kill you makes you go viral. Or
I like it.
Leo and the Python.
By the way, I started watching that Fire Festival documentary on Netflix. Wow.
Oh, is it? People have been raving about it. It's really good.
Well, it just shows you where we've gotten to with this whole Instagram, social media marketer hype machine that it's, I don't know. I haven't finished it, so I don't know if it's a con job. It was a con job or just something that got out of control. But
No, go on.
no,
Oh, I was going to say the whole thing reminds me of my mom. You know, she would always tell me, some people, Stacey, they just have more money than sense.
yeah,
And that's what I'm like, oh,
yeah.
I mean,
I feel bad
it's
for
just
people who
taking
got
that to a new
conned.
age.
A lot of people got conned.
yeah.
You know, this was the festival, just to refresh your memory, from April of last year, that was so ill-planned that when people got there, instead of the luxury accommodations and gourmet meals, they got a hurricane survivor tent and a piece of bread with butter on it. And then there was no concert at all. And there are lawsuits and all sorts of things flying back and forth. But really, it's a good documentary to watch because it's a testament to our times. I mean, they market it. They did the viral marketing brilliantly. They're really good at the viral marketing. They're really bad at producing a product to match the viral marketing. And
You can make people want something. The question is, can you deliver it?
easy peasy.
Right.
And there's this whole, the thing is, there's this network of influencers. One of the things the Fire Festival guys did is they promised 500 Instagram influencers free tickets and accommodations at the festival if they would, at a specific date and time, all push an Instagram picture of just a orange screen. And everybody did it at once with the hashtag Fire Festival, I can't wait, or something like that. I mean, they were really good at viral marketing. The problem was then they get to the festival and they don't know what to do with these 500 influencers because they're expecting tickets to a show and luxury accommodations, and all they got is nothing. It was really interesting. What was also interesting is there were a number of people who saw the fraud happening, who tried to they put up a website. They created a Twitter account saying, don't go, or if you go, we know what's going on. Fire Festival people, you got to tell people are going to go in 2 weeks to this festival that there's nothing there for them. They'll be stranded. All this stuff, and it was ignored. So that the people who were doing the ringing the alarm didn't really know how to use the influencers in the same effective way as the people who were doing the festival.
There wasn't a governor on it, right?
Yeah, it was really interesting. And they brought out 12 female supermodels to dance around on the beach in bikinis, and that was like a year before the event, and they used the video from that right up to the day before the event as if this is what's going to happen. It's a good documentary. It's on Netflix. It's very.
There was also was it TanaCon, the VidCon alternative?
Oh,
2 years ago, I believe.
Didn't hear about that.
Which was a very small scale, same thing.
Yeah.
Tana was irritated for some reason with VidCon and decided to have her own VidCon across the street, and got a room in like a Marriott. And too many people showed up. They didn't really have anything. There were safety issues, all kinds of because I can go online and I can market this. I can go to Kickstarter and I can go to Patreon and I can go to YouTube and I can excite people about something. Oops. Be
Wow,
careful
it just
what you
shows
wish for.
We've gotten this viral marketing's got so good.
Yeah.
Well, it's think about it. It's just like vaporware taken to the next,
Yeah, but it's really causing her, havoc.
yeah.
And of course, it's going to attract con men now. Buyer beware, because, if
the internet will get blamed for the bad actions of human beings.
Right. Well, but again, as we've talked about many times, the internet has weaponized the bad action of human beings, right? They're able to do stuff so much more effectively than ever before.
Until we get our systems in place and institutions. And so I just got a new book here from...
Do you ever read these or you just show them?
Yeah, no, I do. Jesus.
I don't know how you could.
You sound like Twitter.
You must read all the time.
This is a thin book. Look how thin it is.
Oh,
See, I can
okay.
shave with that. So thin.
I'm still reading the book I started last month.
Well, yeah, I do audiobooks, but I do them on 200%.
You have a commute. That's the difference.
A commute makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
If I've got to use it for research, I read it.
So when I commuted, I had 4 hours.
I just
a day.
listened to Kamala Harris's book.
Already, you've done with it. I saw you bought the hat.
Listening.
Read the book, bought the hat.
Bought the hat. Yep. Bought the Kamala hat.
But I think you're jumping a little too soon here. I mean,
I might be.
Wait, is it Kamala or Kamala?
Kamala. I learned that in the audiobook.
Okay.
That's why an audiobook is very beneficial because it's audio.
I like the hat because they use colors to go ka, ma, la.
It's comma. She says it's comma. Think punctuation. You're fine.
It's a good hat. I saw it on Jeff's
hat.
Instagram.
It's a good hat. Yeah, that was part of it too. It's just a good hat.
By the way,
it's better than the Hillary.
I have now actually deleted my Instagram feed. I have requested the deletion of my Facebook feed. Later today, I will literally delete my Twitter feed. No more deactivation. I'm taking this serious.
Oh, are you listening to Farhad in the New York Times about never tweeting?
So I have not. But Farhad is now no longer a tech columnist. He's on the editorial board. He's an opinion maker.
Yes.
That's interesting.
He now,
Good for him.
His latest column is Never Tweet. The controversy over the Covington student shows why American journalism should disengage from Twitter.
Yes! I've been saying that.
Give me an effing break, Farhad. What a New York Times position of privilege that is. Because you can go in the newsroom and
Twitter
your concerns will be covered
is a
there.
dumpster
but
fire,
a lot of people
and the New York
out
Times
there
is on it.
Cannot be heard. You can be heard, Farhad. There are people who cannot be heard, who finally are heard because of Twitter. So,
yeah, but it
Jeff,
seems the people who are using Twitter are not the people who are not being heard, but the people who are just getting louder.
No, I can't tell him because he's going off Twitter, and so he's not going to listen to the public.
Farhad will answer your questions about this column on Yes Twitter on Thursday at 2:30 p.m. Eastern.
And then what does he do? Kill his account?
I don't know about Farhad, but there are definitely people who should stop tweeting, and you know who I'm talking about.
I love Twitter. I will not stop disagreeing with you on this. And not because not the way Jeff loves Twitter. I love Twitter because I have the most awesome, nicest, coolest followers who show me neat things and tell me in polite, normal ways that I screwed up. And when I did screw up, they're like, oh. So
Where can I find
Twitter.
those people?
You just have to follow them.
You know them.
I mean, there a lot of half my Twitter followers are probably your listeners. I mean, I'm not sucking
as
up
long
to
as I don't say horribly controversial things as I did yesterday, then the trolls leave me alone.
What'd you do yesterday?
For 24 hours, I had the trolls.
What'd you do?
Savannah Guthrie. You want me to say it?
No, I don't know. Did you get in trouble?
Yeah.
For saying something on Twitter?
Well, no, I just said Savannah Guthrie.
Yeah, don't say it on. No, don't say anything.
That's why I didn't think you wanted.
But did you do it on Twitter?
Yeah, I did on Twitter.
See,
so
that's
I got
my
trolls.
point. No, but my point
and
is,
then they squirrel,
people
and they're
will
off
say things on Twitter they wouldn't say in the real world.
I only say things on Twitter I say in the real world.
That's maybe why you have such a quality Twitter feed.
Pretty much same here.
But you're alone. Do you know the president tweeted? I didn't even know this. On January 20th, he tweeted more than 36 times.
Well, he has nothing else to do. The government's closed.
That's 40 times he tweeted in one day. It was kind of meandering. It really is kind of like watching your grandpa tweet.
Mm-hmm.
It was, like, it's cold out there. Stay home. What the hell? And then Elon, he should not be on Twitter.
Well,
Maybe it's a substance abuse thing that combines with Twitter or just lack of sleep. There's just a lot of people get in trouble on Twitter. A lot of people, not just Jeff.
No, I
haven't tweeted much lately. Oh, how disappointing.
Most of my feed, I predict that 2019 will be the year that you will come here, Stacey, and say you were right, Leo. I'm never going back on Twitter. I
No.
predict that.
Well, that would hurt too much
No.
to say, Leo. No.
No, I have these lovely conversations. See here, I'm talking with someone about capacitive touch on a faucet. I'm talking to
Life's too
People-
short to talk with people about capacitive touch on its faucet.
what are you talking about? Risk
That is her
5?
bread and butter.
Whole dialogue on Risk 5 architectures. I mean, come
I
on.
am like Farhad Manjoo speaking from white privilege. But
Yes, you are.
because I don't need, I can talk. I get to talk for hours a day.
Yes, you do.
People have to listen
Yeah.
to
There's
me.
Here's the problem, Leo. There's nothing more you want to say.
I'm done.
You
I'm
said
done.
it all.
I said it all.
As Howard Stern says, when you know the interview is coming to the end, well, you've said it all,
You've said it all, and we're done.
and then you know
Goodbye.
you're off the
Hey,
air in 30
speaking of
seconds.
VidCon, what is
Yes.
Viacom up to? They bought VidCon, right?
Right?
Now they just bought Pluto TV for a whopping $340 million.
What is Pluto
dollars.
TV? Tell us that, please.
Pluto TV is one of the fastest growing free ad-supported TV streaming services. So if you go to Pluto.tv, it's interesting. I thought maybe they were a little sketch because, by the way, snakes love Pluto TV because they're broadcasting. I don't understand how they get away with, broadcasting some of the things they broadcast on here.
So they got Meet the Press on right now.
Yeah. Do they have a license for that? They must. Or
They have
Viacom.
to.
Viacom, which owns which one does Viacom own? They own
CBS.
CBS. Would certainly
Well,
not.
They're
Well-
the most litigious of all.
Yeah, they wouldn't
They're-
buy something like
They're
this.
actually separate, but they're in the same owner.
They wouldn't buy something like this if they weren't. I would mute this, but I can't because the snake's sitting on my mute key. Wait a minute. Let me.
You can just push them aside. Snakes are very nice.
Really? He's not going to bite me?
Is that a snake on your monitor or?
Are you happy? So there's Cheddar, there's Fox Sports, Impact Wrestling. This is all free. You just go there and you just watch this for free because, right, it's ad supported. Look at all this college sports. I've seen this. I mean, I thought, what? Were we on Pluto TV briefly?
We were. I know we were in negotiations to be on Pluto TV. I'm not sure if we ever actually got.
I
on
think
Pluto
they
TV.
wanted us to do stuff.
They did
We
want us to. They did
cut out our
want us-
ads and stuff, right?
Yeah, that was the problem. It was too much work for us to.
Yeah.
cut-
So
cut out
CNET's
all our
on here.
ads.
Nerdist is on here.
CBS
But we did talk
and
to their founder.
We did
on
talk to them.
Triangulation.
Oh,
It was
okay.
Really interesting.
So what is his strategy? What is his? Well, his strategy is he just got $340 million from
It
Viacom.
worked, Leo.
That was a good strategy. What was I thinking? Look at all the stuff on here. They've got music channels.
Jesus.
This is crazy. And I
And it's
guess
on
it's all
demand,
legit
too?
because it wouldn't exist if it weren't legit. Right? Like they put all these agreements together. So really what Viacom's buying is these agreements. Wow.
An audience. How big is Pluto? I mean, does it?
Oh,
have
it's
bunch
not a
of
big
ads?
it's a micro streamer.
It's tiny. It's super tiny.
It's a micro streamer. So, yeah, it's not. That's what's interesting about this. Let me see if it says here. Tom Ryan, who I guess was the guy we had on Triangulation, it will continue to serve as the CEO. It'll be independent upon closing of transaction. Should close in the first quarter, subject to regulatory approval. But frankly, as Axios says, it's unlikely a deal this size would get much scrutiny. It's just fascinating to me. $340 million sounds like a lot to me.
That's because you're a small fry.
I guess I am.
If you're thinking big, you got to think unicorn.
But also, this is an interesting strategy on Viacom's part. I think it goes along with acquiring VidCon, for instance. So Pluto TV had 12 million monthly active users.
Oh, it's nothing.
We have 7.
That is nothing.
We have 7.
Do you want to be bought by Viacom?
Let's see.
Is that what I'm hearing?
What fraction of 12 million is 7? It's like 6%. I'll take
60%.
60%. I'll take 60% of 340 million. I'll take it.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Viacom.
Yeah, tomorrow, done.
I have a wonderful audience. They tweet beautifully. That you
Actually, Leo, they wanted you until you killed all your social media, and then
probably that's true.
It's over.
That was
Useless to
probably
them.
it was probably suicide to kill those accounts, but I don't
Yeah,
care.
it was.
7.5 million of Pluto's viewers are on connected TVs. So Viacom likes that. They
Are
also
they young?
yeah, they're probably young, right? They're cheap. That's what I would worry about. I mean, right? Viacom also bought Noggin and Comedy
kiddie
Central
thing, right?
now.
Well,
So-
that's a channel, right? Noggin.
Yeah.
Noggin is like a Nickelodeon sponsored.
Yeah.
I thought it was a Nickelodeon
They
campaign.
also bought
It's
Awesome.
Nickelodeon for toddlers.
They bought Awesomeness TV, which is, I think, a digital media. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's where all your favorite creators come together in daily shows made for you.
Oh, well, that sounds like it's just for us.
It's not even. It doesn't stand alone. It's on YouTube. It's a YouTube publisher.
Wow.
I don't know how much they paid for it, but so Viacom's up to something, probably trying to stay relevant in the 21st century.
I think
Would be
so.
my thinking.
Well, Viacom, hold on. Viacom does not have CBS. They're both Sumner Redstone,
Yeah.
I think.
Oh, is he still sort
kicking?
of
Yeah.
kicking?
That's like that.
I don't
Oh,
think
there's a
he's actually
story
kicking,
there.
but-
You know, that's a movie. I can't wait to watch that movie. That'll be on HBO for
Oh.
sure. The Sumner Redstone story.
That was also a great MTV game show category. Dead or Canadian?
It's awful. All right, let's take a little break. The snake. I'm using the snake as audience feedback now. He seems to have fallen asleep, so clearly we're boring you. Are we boring? Should you kiss snakes or no? Just
Do they carry
asking- I'm
lizards?
asking-
Carry salmonella.
I'm asking
or
for a
turtles do.
friend. He smells
have
like
to
he's got
ask.
salmonella. I'm asking for a friend. Is it okay to kiss your snake? Our show today, you notice how grammatically correct I am? Have you noticed that? I know the difference
You are. You do a good job.
between flout and flaunt.
I think even when you
Ordinance
speak,
and ordinance.
you speak with the Oxford comma, which I respect
I
greatly.
do. I use the Oxford comma in speech.
Yes.
I eat shoots and leaves. And all of that I owe to, well, besides Mrs. Plotkin in fourth grade, Grammarly. Grammarly is a communication tool, not a grammar checker. No. That's the least of what Grammarly does. It's a communication tool that helps you improve your writing so that you will put your best foot forward. Mistake-free, clear, effective. It really is an awesome tool. They have an app, they have an online browser extension, and they have mobile keyboard checker on iOS. So as you type in Grammarly, of course, the first thing they do, and in fact, the free product does this, reviews critical spelling and grammar mistakes. So you're going to get those. This is on Chrome, Firefox, Safari, Edge, iOS, Android, Windows, and Mac. But then, if with the premium, which is what I recommend, it'll do that. It'll check your spelling and grammar, but it'll also look for advanced punctuation. It understands structure. It understands context. So it understands your style within the context that you're writing for. It can make great vocabulary suggestions, conciseness, and readability for different occasions. My dad sent me an email in which he said it's complicated, and then he said Grammarly suggested that. I thought that was cute. If you're writing a business proposal, an email to your son, an academic essay, a casual blog post, Grammarly knows the difference and will make a recommendation that's right for you. And, by the way, tell you what your readability index is, which is really useful. This is a little, it's going to go over the head of your intended audience, or you can write a little better, can't you? Accomplish your goals with help from Grammarly. Stop making email typos on your phone. Close more deals at work. Yes, it'll help you with your emails. Polish your resume to get that new job. I always thought, oh, I don't need this. And let me tell you, I do. Everybody does. It really helps. I love it. Go to Grammarly.com/twig. You'll get 20% off Grammarly. GRAMMARLY.com/twig. There's no E in grammar. Grammarly.com/twig. And get 20% off your Grammarly premium account today. You will really appreciate it.
I just actually downloaded it because
Yeah.
I didn't have an editor for a week, and I'm notorious for my all of my editors have said, Stacy, you love just sprinkling commas at random. You
Exactly.
clearly have no idea where they go.
That is what my Latin teacher called comma blunder. And it should not be allowed, comma blunder. This is the overuse of commas.
I have a few diseases that I love dashes. I like semicolons
dashes,
too much.
yeah.
I love M dashes.
I
Isn't
just
the M
bought
dash great?
another book.
An ode to the semicolon.
Well, kind of. The Form of the Book
Oh,
by Jan Tschichold, who was jailed by the Nazis because he was advocating new typography.
wow.
You
Is
think
that
this stuff's
crazy?
easy? That was dangerous.
Is that crazy?
So he has a whole chapter on the proper setting of dashes.
Oh, I got to read that.
I had to buy it.
Oh,
I had
my
to buy
God,
it.
I gotta
No,
read
that sounds like the most boring book ever.
Exactly.
Not more
What?
boring than discussing capacitive faucets.
Well, bingo, zing.
No, I was okay. So this is a true story. I was once at a
Get her
baby
while she's
shower,
down, Leo.
Yes.
and this was when the iPhone had just come out. So it was like 2007. And this poor girl sitting next to me at a baby shower. So she was normal. And she had it's like, I think it's so cool how, the iPhone works, but I don't understand why I can't hit it with my nails and have it work. And I was like, do you really want to know? And she's like,
tell you.
yeah, I do. I was like,
2
"No,
hours
re-
later.
do you really want to know?" So that I'm sitting there for only a few minutes explaining capacitive touch, but she did not talk to me for the rest of the time.
No.
It was sad.
I've learned you got to jazz it up. So what I always do is say, go get me a mozzarella stick and a pretzel. And you can demonstrate it with a mozzarella stick and a pretzel.
Oh,
Right?
It was a baby shower, not a football game.
Mozzarella.
So
Mozzarella.
mozzarella.
You can use
Mozzarella.
You can use a mozzarella stick as a stylus, but you can't use
As
a
a
pretzel.
conductor?
Yeah, because it conducts. But
Right.
You can't use your pretzel. It's too dry. Right, Snakey? Right.
Right, Snaky.
So Amazon, hi, Snakey. Amazon, always thinking ahead, has created a vest to keep robots from pummeling humans.
Oh, interesting.
Well, this is a rather link-baity, but I had to give it credit, headline from Engadget. So the issue is, of course, in an Amazon warehouse, workers are working right alongside robots all the time, automated systems and so forth. And so what this vest, so-called vest is really a pair of suspenders connected to a belt that signals to robots that a human is entering the space. So the robot will stand down.
Oh, is it using 60 gigahertz radios?
That's a good question. Engadget says sensors that can communicate with robotic systems, but I bet you anything it's a radio, sure.
So TI just introduced probably 2 months ago a 60 gigahertz sensing system that was in part designed to work with robotics by saying,
Bet you that's
because
it.
because it's a little bit more accurate. It's higher resolution data about how close a person is and that sort of thing. But maybe it's using something totally different. Like computer vision could do this too, but not as well.
Do you know how why Amazon's doing this?
Because they are going to have workers work with their robots in the warehouse?
No, the bear repellent incident.
Oh,
One of Amazon's robots managed to puncture a bottle of bear repellent. 24 workers were hospitalized.
I think I read somewhere that was like the second bear repellent issue that Amazon had. I'm not kidding.
how does this?
We
help?
shouldn't laugh because
It was
one of
actually the third.
it was the third.
Oh, here we go.
So really, what they need to do
Wow.
is create sensors for bear repellents.
Bear repellent.
Not the
How does
workers.
this
Maybe
help
they
the
just
bear
shouldn't
repellent
stock
episode?
bear repellent.
It's a pepper spray for aggressive or charging bears.
But what does this
I
do
have
to
some.
stop that? If you're standing nearby, the robot could still do it, and you happen to be nearby. Does
Yeah.
it just not go
No,
near
I
the bear
think this
repellent?
doesn't really solve the bear repellent problem.
No.
Oh,
Maybe
Look at
you
this.
only stock bear repellent when
snake-
there are no people
the
around.
snake changed the page to being homeless is better than working for Amazon.
Oh, snakes are capacitive. Look at that.
Snake is capacitive.
Oh.
Take that to your baby shower. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Talking about you, Snakey. That's really interesting. Are you trying to make a political statement, Snake, about homelessness in Amazon? Wow. That's not the article I was talking about. So Amazon
wanted to hiss at you when you changed the page.
I think they were worried. I think they were worried that the robot might think of a human as a can of bear repellent. So proactively, what are you up to, Snake? Proactively. So we have proven that snakes are capacitive.
That doesn't make sense. I would think that you would only load bear repellent when people aren't around or something like that.
Right. It punctured a 9-ounce can of this stuff, and it filled.
There's got to be
warehouse.
lots of other harmful such things in the warehouse.
But are they stuck under high pressure?
But wouldn't you want to design a robot that wouldn't in fact puncture anything? I mean, honestly, that seems like a failing in the robot.
Maybe it didn't.
Yes, but you
actually
could drop the can and run over it.
Well, that's what's interesting. Initially, they said it dropped the can. A preliminary investigation determined the bear repellent fell off a shelf, but a spokesperson for the town clarified that an automated machine punctured the 9-ounce can, releasing its toxic fumes.
Take that, human.
Maybe this is how it happens. This is how it begins.
With bear repellent.
This is the way the world ends.
This is the
Not
way.
with a bang, but with bear repellent.
With a bear.
With a whiff. Facebook is building a meme hub called LOL to attract teens.
Oh my God, my daughter only speaks in memes.
Really?
It is. Yes. Oh God, it drives me so nuts. I mean, I'm lucky that I'm online enough that I get like probably 50%.
How does she do that? Like
well, you have to think, like, she talks in Vines. She's still sad over the demise of Vine, but like, she I'm trying to think, like, I'll say something and she'll be like, crap.
I hate that when like people, that's actually a long-standing thing. Like you say something and they would say, well, duh. Like, because that's a thing people say, or think,
yeah.
Or, the fake cough with the, communist. I hate that stuff. And now, of course, it's all tied to some meme that people saw on social media.
So I want to plug a friend's book, Memes to Movements, just out this week by Anjao Mina from Berkman Center, and among other things. She's a brilliant researcher and has a whole political a view of the use of politics, how the world's most viral media is changing social protest and power.
Interesting.
Mention that. That's memes are an important alphabet of the future age.
That's what Joan Donovan says too when she's been on from Dana Boyd's center. She says, and that's almost her beat is studying memes and how they're used in political movements.
Joan, by the way, has moved to Harvard. To the Shorenstein Center there.
Very nice.
Boston. It makes a lot of sense when you know Joan's Twitter handle is Boston Joan.
Yeah, she wants to stay in Cambridge. I don't want to say anything, but Sheila's suddenly got a real interest in you, Jeff. She's coming your way. I think she originally was going for my mouse and then realized it wasn't actually in a mouse. She's really woken up. I think
That's good.
This whole Amazon thing is really
really stuck with her. She's like, bear repellent.
Oh. She's measuring the pen. She's measuring. She's just checking.
They're so fascinating.
They are kind of, aren't they? I've never had a snake.
I love the way they move.
Yeah.
I think it's just they're beautiful.
Slither's not the right word.
No, it's not.
I don't know what the right
Undulate.
word is. Undulate. Very undulating. So, did you see we were talking about this on Windows Weekly earlier. Microsoft, it was kind of a leak. It wasn't an announcement from Microsoft, but they said that they are going to have a fake news checker built into their browser. Microsoft Edge.
That's neat. I thought you were going to talk about Cortana.
How are you going to do that?
Well, that's that's why I bring it up, because I know, Jeff, you know how hard it is. But Microsoft's mobile version of Edge is going to start issuing fake news warnings.
Oh, it's based on NewsGuard.
Is NewsGuard not good?
No. I don't want to make any judgments. NewsGuard is a little simplistic because it has a one-size-fits-all for everybody, red, yellow, or green rating of a news site.
It's hard to do, right? I mean,
bingo, and yeah. So it's not gonna get you down to individual claims. It's going to be sites that you think are not believable will get a different rating from what they do because it's one size fits all.
Right. This also seems a little judgy. I'm looking at the
Exactly.
Well, that's
NewsGuard.
the role of.
I know, there has to be judgy, but look, so they're talking about dailywire.com. This website generally maintains basic standards of accuracy and accountability. It does not repeatedly publish false content, gathers and presents information responsibly, but it does, I don't know why they get an X for this, or I guess because it does not regularly correct or clarify errors. It doesn't handle the difference between news and opinion responsibly, and it does not disclose its ownership and financing. It's a little judgy, you know? It's like,
Well, that's the whole point of it. Yeah.
yeah, I guess you have to be judgy, right, if you're judging.
But I just it's done by Stephen Brill and Gordon Krovitz. Stephen Brill started
Brill.
Court TV. He the two of them started the paywall infrastructure for media, and they never liked me for not loving paywalls. So now they've started this effort, and they're hiring human journalists to sit down and judge sites against their criteria. All of which I think is a good idea. It's more data. It's and full disclosure, I raised money from Facebook. I'm independent of Facebook. I received no money personally from Facebook or any platform. But one of the projects I'm working on is to aggregate the signals of quality in news. So I'm in this space. So this is an effort to bring this to the consumer. The question is how much it'll resonate at an individual level, individual site level. Do you agree with their view of Fox News? Do you agree with their view of Daily Caller? Do you agree with their view of RT? It'll proof and pudding.
So if you are using Edge on mobile, there is a news rating feature in the settings. You can turn it on. I don't know if it's on by default. It describes NewsGuard as, and what it does. I think this is kind of. Does Facebook use NewsGuard, or what is Facebook? No.
Facebook has all kinds of signals, some of which my project will provide to all of the platforms and advertisers and ad networks for free. But they've got a ton of signals on their own. Plus, they got fact checking. They've worked with fact checking networks to give them signals about individual pieces of content, but then that ranks up to the domain level.
So, according to The Guardian, NewsGuard is saying that Mail Online, which I guess is the Daily Mail, is unreliable. And that's probably true, actually.
Probably pretty much true. Yeah.
So my daughter came to me the other day and said, I saw this in the mail. And then I was like, so I had to sit down and explain journalistic standards. And then the other day she was like, did you see in the Post? And I was like, which Post? She's like, the New York Post. And I was like,
no, but that's a good education you're giving her.
It is a good education.
And it is nuanced because they're both mainstream outlets.
Yes.
It's not. They're not the National Enquirer, but they're maybe a little sensationalistic. Is that what you told her? What did you say?
I talked about how different organizations are like people, and how you have some friends who are like.
Yeah, gossipy.
Yes, I was like, so you have friends, and I mentioned some friends, so I don't want to do that here on the air. And then you have others, and so when one friend comes with this kind of information, how do you treat it? And she explains how she treats it.
Oh, you're such a good mom. That is a great teaching opportunity. That's really cool.
And then I put her in a room, and I didn't feed her any dinner.
No, I think that's really good. I think what you did there is a model for everybody listening who has younger children, because they're faced with this. They're growing up. I mean, we didn't have to face this, but they're growing up in a world where I remember the nuance between Newsweek and Time, right? But I don't remember. That's very nuanced, much more than this.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I do remember that, and I don't remember how I learned that. Probably my dad or my mom said, you have some friends that like to write first-person articles as if they were there, and then other friends who do third-person reporting. Who do you listen to? So the Daily Wire was given an all clear while Breitbart was not. So that's a problem maybe I don't know. I think this is better than nothing. It's interesting that Microsoft's getting in this business.
Yeah, they're all desperate for something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, why else are you going to use Edge browser?
Well, yeah. I mean, the other thing, Edge has good ad blocking. I mean, there's some Edge on mobile is actually pretty good, but you raise the exact problem Microsoft has.
Although NewsGuard, I looked, they offer a Chrome extension, a Firefox extension, and other extensions. Safari. I was like, and Edge.
Very interesting. Google has, I don't know, this wouldn't be a changelog. Google has bought the technology for Fossil smartwatches for $40 million.
Oh, that was in my newsletter last week. Yeah.
So do you think it's an indicator that Google might be doing a Pixel Watch or be planning a Pixel Watch?
Oh, I would just like something. They have to do something to compete with the Apple Watch, right? If
Yes.
Do they?
Yes, they do, because the Apple Watch has become so compelling, and Google and Apple has brought in so many health and medical things that are, I mean, again, really compelling, and they're bringing doctors and medical records companies on board. So if you think about a divide, between people who have access to this data and people who don't, people are going to want this, and Google has to have something to answer with. And Android Wear right now is
It's not very good. I haven't used Fossil's version of it, but apparently there's something there that Google wants.
So Fossil actually was really good at doing smartwatches that didn't feel like smartwatches, and designing things that were compelling to use for people who didn't want a computer on their wrist.
So Fossil is not Android Wear.
No, I don't think so.
It's like Pebble or Fitbit. It's its own thing.
Was Fossil? They may have done an Android Wear watch, actually.
I feel like they did.
I believe they did. Yes, I believe they did.
I mean, I think they had they didn't just do that, but I believe they did have an Android Wear.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yes,
they have
the
Android
Wear
watches.
3100.
So they did have something, though, that was...
$255 at Bloomingdale's. That was kind of price range. So reasonable.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, they were less expensive, right?
But they're pretty. I mean, if you look at them on the website, they're nice.
Looking. Maybe it's the designers. It says Google's buying Fossil smartwear tech, but maybe
they're buying the IP is what they're buying.
The IP, so maybe it is the design.
And some people, I thought. No?
Yeah, although Fossil was quick to point out we're not stopping, and we still have 200 people working on R&D. So they didn't get them all. They didn't, and then, it sounds like Fossil's going to keep doing smartwatches. Hey, I wanted to give a hat tip to Google. They have announced that they are going to give an additional $3.1 million to Wikimedia, the parent corporation of Wikipedia, as you might imagine.
Now my $10 donation doesn't look like anything.
So good, does it? No, if everybody gave $10, it'd be worth more than Google's $7.5 million. That's what they've given over the last 10 years. They announced this at the World Economic Forum in Davos. Too bad we don't have a reporter there. A third of the funds will go to sustaining current efforts at the Wikimedia Foundation. It's a nonprofit, by the way. The remaining $2 million will focus on long-term viability through the organization's endowment. That's good. You know what? Given how much value Google gets out of Wikipedia, I'm glad to see that.
Yeah. Sorry.
Was that a
here?
Was that a editorial comment or was that a throat clearing?
Hear him.
Sorry, that was me trying not to choke. I'm really sorry, you guys. I'm so disgusting.
Google will also begin allowing Wikipedia editors to use several of its machine learning tools for free, and they're going to broaden something they call Project Tiger, which is a joint initiative they launched a couple of years ago to get more Wikipedia articles written in underrepresented languages in India, and to include 10. Yeah, there are a lot of different languages in India, and to include 10 new languages in a handful of countries and regions. It will be called now, instead of Project Tiger, Glow, the Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling. No, growing local language content on Wikipedia. So it's really more like Glow. Cow. I think that's great. I mean, does Siri? Yeah, Siri uses Wikipedia too. I hope Apple's doing this. Apple, Facebook, and Amazon, as well as Google, also use Wikipedia content in their own products. So,
there was a Twitter discussion about a year ago. Jimmy Wales, founder of Wikipedia. And some people were saying, well, Google exploits Wikipedia, it uses Wikipedia. And I was saying, well, no, it links to them like crazy. And Jimmy said that they do get people who come from Google and
Oh, that's
contribute.
good. Oh, that's good.
There's benefit. I think I would like to see. So Google is working with publishers, as is Facebook, on paywalls. But I've been pushing both companies to say also work with companies that need contribution, like The Guardian and like Wikipedia. And I think on every Wikipedia box, if you imagine there was a box there to contribute, that would be a huge give back to them.
Wait, contribute because
Money.
I have never contributed to Wikipedia. Oh, money. Never mind.
Yeah,
I
they don't need a
my
huge amount of
editorial
money to
expertise.
operate,
Yeah.
but they do need
I
money.
donate to Wikipedia whenever they do their
Yeah,
annual drive.
So do I. But
Right.
why do you not edit Wikipedia? Did you just never got around to that? Or I wonder if more of us
it looks
should.
really intimidating.
It is a little intimidating, and there's a culture there. It's the same reason I lurk on Reddit, but I never post there because I'm afraid.
Oh, I'm terrified of Reddit.
Yeah.
The way you feel about Twitter is probably how I feel about
Yeah.
Reddit.
Yeah, no, I only read Reddit. But I lurk there. I read a lot of it, but I'm afraid to say anything. They're way too hip for me. Did you know that Google has a big presence in Yum Yum, Tennessee, and Hollywood, Alabama? Yep. In fact, the new data center Google is building in Yum Yum, Tennessee, is going to have solar, lots of it. They hope to have it be matched, notice, with 100% renewable energy from day one. They struck a multi-year deal with the Tennessee Valley Authority to purchase output from several new solar farms. 413 megawatts of power for 1.6 million solar panels.
May I give you a related story?
Yes.
So on the rundown, I think it's Bill Gross's Energy Vault.
And I know you're a friend of Bill's. Yeah.
Friend of Bill Gross Idea Lab, who started more than 150 companies. His latest is amazing. And he has a great presentation he just gave at the DLD conference in Munich, where Bill explains how we've gotten renewable energy cheaper than a remade coal plant, right? So we're there. But what we're not, of course, is storage, because the wind and the sun doesn't come when you need it. And he said everywhere on Earth where you can pump water up and have it get hydro coming down is pretty much already done. And the storage plus the generation is still more than dirty energy. So what you need to get the storage down to is 3 cents per megawatt, whatever. And he's at 3.5 cents with this new company he's started and spun off, which is nothing but cement blocks. And the cement block raises the cement block up when it has energy, and when it needs to bring the energy back out, it just reduces
that's a battery.
Cement block back down. Yep. It's a battery.
Yep.
And he's got cement that can be made out of recycled cement, so it reduces waste. And it costs, I think, what did he say, $7 million to build one of these things, and it's amazing. This is just Bill's genius at startups and at engineering. And it's really exciting because you get to the point, part of the problem now with coal is it's not worth it. Yes, we can produce renewable energy for cheaper than coal, but we have a huge investment in the infrastructure around coal, and the storage costs are higher. If you go below both those lines, then you start taking away all the motivation to use coal and even gas for renewable energy. And imagine too these batteries out in the middle of nowhere, not in the middle of a desert.
Wait, I have a physics question.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm using the renewable to raise the cement block, and then the storage it's up high, and as we drop it, the kinetic energy is released.
Yes.
So it's some sort of Piezo.
Precisely.
Okay, sorry. I'm like, what is happening?
Sorry, I didn't explain it well. Yes, you're absolutely right.
That's okay.
So
There's a lot of ways to do this. You can raise
animation.
water level and let it go down.
Right.
There's all sorts of ways to do this. It's really clever. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Sorry, keep going.
So that was just related to so when you have Googles and Facebooks and data centers using renewable energy, they still have this problem of storage.
Right. The last mile and all of that. I mean, energy's here, they're there. There's all sorts of issues. Yeah.
Right.
That's why Elon's building the power walls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a
batteries? Batteries are still so. I was trying to get the video.
They're not good.
Yeah, the battery cost is still much higher, and you've got chemicals that are
lithium. You got barefoot children mining lithium, and
right.
Yeah,
but plain old cement blocks on a crane.
It's not clever.
Legos.
There's so many stories here. I don't know where to go next. Well, we can confirm, by the way, or at least the Chinese government has confirmed. We were talking about Dr. He, who gene edited, uses CRISPR. He claimed to gene edit 2 babies. The Chinese government has confirmed that He Jiankui did in fact gene edit those babies illegally. He forged a bunch of documents. He did a lot of things to get it through. But there are at least 2 babies that have CRISPR-edited genes.
I couldn't find in that story. Was there anything about what he did to the genes?
Yeah. So he
They're
changed.
resistant. Oh,
That's
sorry.
right. He gave them resistance to HIV, smallpox, and what was the other one? I can't remember. A third disease by removing a gene, I believe. The problem with CRISPR and gene editing is we just don't know enough about what we're doing, and it's very likely or very possible that there be side effects that you just don't know. You're modifying. CRISPR is kind of like cut and paste for genes.
Well, does it talk about what happens to the kids? Does the government know who they are?
Yeah, I guess
assume
they
they
do, but I don't think they've identified them, and so the hope was.
I hope they never
the
do.
hope-
I mean,
that's exactly what they said. The twins were nicknamed Lulu and Nana. Another woman is still carrying a gene-edited fetus. He forged ethical review papers, recruited 8 couples to participate, resulting in 2 pregnancies. The Guangdong government will keep the twins under medical observation, but they are not going to say who they are. The kids will be protected.
that would be an amazing thriller. Is the U.S.
Yes.
government sends agents in to steal those babies so we can monitor their progress and gain all the scientific knowledge for ourselves? That would be an awesome, awesome, awesome book.
Ooh.
I'm done.
Ooh.
Someone take that idea and go with it.
In an interview with Beijing Youth Daily, Xiao Feng, who is from the Chinese Academy of Sciences, deputy director of the National Institute of Biological Sciences, said the whole incident would need to be investigated thoroughly. If I were to handle the matter, I would never tell the twins they've been gene edited and allow them to live their lives like normal people. I think that's for the best. He did say he's worried about the
But then
potential
when they
health
have
risks.
children,
Well, yeah. And you've got to test if it works, right? Like, are you going to expose them to HIV or just hope it happens and see if it works?
No.
I'm not, like,
Yes, we need a double blind. Anybody
I'm
want to do
joking.
it?
I'm just, I don't think someone should do this, but at the same
Yeah,
time,
well,
I'm like,
I think it's so anathema to the scientific community all over the world, even in China. And that was one of the thoughts was maybe the Chinese government is kind of looking sideways when this guy's doing it because they really are curious. But it sounds like they actually condemned the guy. He's disappeared, by the way. They're trying to find them. He hasn't been
wait,
seen in
did they
public.
condemn him because the rest of the world was like,
Yeah, well, that's a
what
good
the
question.
what?
Yeah. An expert in the field, Xiao, is worried about potential health risks the children will face, as well as, get this, the incident's effect on the human race. Once the gate of gene editing is wide open, the human race will be finished, he said. The technology is strong, but the terrifying fact is anyone slightly trained in a lab can perform it.
Well, and there's tons
Right.
of science fiction books out there talking about, like,
oh, yeah.
Go fast forward 200 years and you've got people who retain and want to be like the human race. And then all the people are like, screw this, I could be better,
Right.
and, adapt.
Well, and of course, the issue of the have and have-nots. This is going to be very expensive. Will only wealthy people, will only 1%ers be able to have smarter babies? And if that's the case, will they gradually become a different species?
right?
Yes, but I think it'll only be super expensive given the rate of technological change and things like Illumina and that.
Right.
So you could probably go 5 years. So if you just had a baby, that sucks.
Right.
But yeah,
Yuval
We would
Noah
have to make
Harari
provisions.
writes about this in his 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. He makes a really interesting point. Up until now, people could claim they were better. They were noble, they were rich, whatever. They could claim they were better, but they were exactly the same. All humans were the same. This is the first time ever, potentially, that somebody with more resources, with more money than other people could make them and their children something different. And could
genetically
legitimately
they're all
say,
the same.
now we are. Yeah, genetically all the same. But they could legitimately then say, yeah, these kids are faster, smarter, more attractive for reals. Not just because of the accident of birth. That is an interesting new world that we are.
I don't know
about to
if
head
it would be
into.
all that new. I mean, if you think about things like access to resources and privilege, you were definitely born up. You and Jeff both were born with a leg up, for example.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then, so for me,
And look what it
for me,
look
raw
where it got us.
materials.
Right.
I feel like a lot of people would like to be where you are. I don't think you're not resting on your 240 odd million from Viacom, but you're not doing too terribly.
340. I'll take the 240 though. I'm just saying.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, you're
That
saying
was
that's
the
what I
six-
would get.
That was your 60% based on
right.
your.
Thank you for doing the math. Now I know what
didn't
to
do it
ask for
exactly.
when Viacom comes.
There you go.
When Sumner Redstone walks in the door. Sumner.
No, it's closer to 210. Sorry. I just 30 million off the top right there.
Oh, God, already I'm losing money. Let's see. Oh, and here's a story from the Daily Mail.
Do we trust it? I don't think so. I don't think you should do this, Leo.
China launches an app that tells you if you're within 500 feet of someone in debt and encourages you to report them if they seem like they're doing okay, like maybe they just got some gene editing done.
Eesh.
Officials in the Chinese province of Hebei created the app. It appears to show the locations of people who are considered to be in debt. Here's your debt radar. This
is like everything dystopian. I mean, the Chinese are like, how can we make
How can we
everyone's
push it?
dystopian
Right.
nightmares come true?
But is it really?
Oh.
I mean, I think this is an orderly society. People shouldn't be allowed to, run around, driving Mercedes Benz if they owe somebody $50. They should pay up.
and I think they've changed the law since, but it was very recently in Scandinavia. You could look up anybody's income online, and your
Wow.
traffic fines were percentage of that.
Wow. What?
Yes.
Well, I'm not moving to Scandinavia. Now, that's the Daily Mail. So again, although they're reporting something that appeared in the China Daily, right next to it, a story I'm not going to link on. Jeff Bezos' mistress, Lauren Sanchez, dons sheer top as she and the newly buff billionaire helicopter to Malibu to enjoy spa treatments and then retire to her love nest. So that's what you were talking about with the Daily Mail.
So Raima
Yeah.
Kisla, a Finnish businessman,
Yeah.
was fined 54,000 euros for traveling a modest, if illegal, 64 miles per hour in a 50-mile
Oh,
zone
no, that's not right.
because it's a percentage of his income.
I don't want to live there. Although
But it's a happy place.
now Google Maps.
It does make the sense, though, if you think about it. A lot of people speed. If you're wealthy, you can speed, and you're like, I
Right.
can afford the ticket in this
It cost me
situation.
$1.
Right.
Yeah. However, if you get in a head-on collision, it'll still kill you, however rich you
Right,
might
but
be.
this at least makes the
Unless you're driving a
penalties
Hummer.
equal to everybody.
Yeah, no, there's a case to be made for that, you socialist.
I'm throwing out the like. This is anathema in our society.
No, but it
I
makes
can see
sense.
how it
Yeah.
makes sense for Scandinavians.
He should have had the new Google Maps, which displays speed limits in its iOS and Android. He would have known. And didn't we say earlier that in some jurisdictions, Google is testing locations of speed cameras as well?
Yeah, I thought that was. Is this just the speed limit sign?
This is just the speed limits.
I don't really want Waze knowing that I'm going over the speed limit in a particular area.
Oh,
because
it
then they
knows.
could actually
Oh, it
tell
knows.
the police officers.
Oh, it knows.
That's happening.
Yeah, you wonder that's a privacy issue. Is Waze storing that data?
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Hey, Tom Wheeler's back, former dingo from the FCC. Where did she fall under her desk?
Nope.
Okay.
I'm trying to fix something.
Where'd the snake go? Is the snake? Oh, it's
Oh, my
hiding there.
God. Where'd the snake go?
Careful of your monitor. Careful of your monitor. Don't move it.
There's a little tail right here.
Oh shit!
I wonder. Oh, I bet it's really warm back there. Is it warm?
Sure.
Does it vent
Yeah,
back there?
It's probably.
Oh, happy.
Oh, you can
snake.
see it. Look. You can see it right there.
Oh, it is. It's on your little face. Oh,
It's on my
happy
computer. It's
snake.
resting. It's resting its little snaky chin. I wonder
gonna
if it'll
take its-
emerge on the other side at some point. Is the head coming out? Oh, how funny. If 5G is so important, writes Tom Wheeler, former dingo and chairman of the FCC, why? We like him now, though. Sure.
We do.
Sure. What's his name called him? a
We didn't know
dingo.
how good we had it.
We didn't know how good we had it.
Not only that, but we all thought he was going to be a dingo, but he actually
and he
turned
wasn't.
out to be,
No. A nice
I don't
dingo.
know, a puppy.
Yeah.
Which is what led Leo to think that Ajit Pai might be okay.
I was hoping.
No.
I had hopes. I want to, you know what? I'm the kind of guy who gives everybody a fair shake. And, you know,
So when I was covering the FCC, it was well known that Pi leaked all kinds of anti-net neutrality stories to certain publications
Really?
that covered it. Oh, yeah.
Really?
oh, you didn't tell us that.
No, you didn't tell us that.
Ooh, that's not good.
Now you know. I mean,
So Wheeler says, if 5G is so important, why isn't it secure? And of course, he's talking about Huawei, among other things. But he says, here's the thing: the Trump administration has made, I didn't know this, but you knew it, I'm sure, Stacey, 5G kind of a cornerstone of the future for the United States, which is, I'm all about it. It's basically our space race. He says the 5G race is more complex and dangerous than industry and the administration portray. When 5G enables autonomous vehicles, do we want those cars and trucks crashing into each other because the Russians hacked the network? If 5G is going to be the backbone of breakthroughs like remote surgery, should that network be vulnerable to the North Koreans breaking into a surgical procedure? Investors, innovators, and users need confidence in the network's cybersecurity if its much heralded promise is to be realized. He apparently does not think that we are doing enough to...
so remember back when the Trump administration said that we should, there was probably a year ago, there was a report that went around that people in the administration had made a pitch to say the U.S. should develop 5G all on its own.
Right.
And I think the Pentagon should be in charge or something ridiculous. And we all laughed and ha, ha, ha. There's a couple things about that. One, 5G is not going to be used for robotic surgery. You know, the use cases
I hope
for
to
5G
God they're using a landline. Please.
wired.
But it will be absolutely used for inter-car communication.
It will, and there's, and I'm trying. Okay, I gotta go read this article.
Here's his point. I'll tell you what he's saying.
Thank you.
He's saying in November, the president's National Security Telecommunications Advisory Committee told him the cybersecurity threat now poses an existential threat to the future of the nation. He's been warned again and again, but then, and by the way, Tom Wheeler he who shall not be named, Ajit Pai, the chairman of the Trump FCC, quickly echoed the industry line that the market, not government, is best positioned to drive innovation and leadership. Worse than ignoring these warnings, the administration has repealed existing protections. Shortly after taking office, the Trump FCC removed a requirement imposed by the Obama FCC, in other words, me, Tom Wheeler, that the 5G technical standard must be designed from the outset to withstand cyber attacks. This was the first time, Wheeler says, cybersecurity was required as a forethought in the design of a new network standard. In fact, I vividly remember interviewing Vint Cerf and said, if you could redo the internet, he was, of course, one of the fathers of the internet, what would you do differently? And he said, encryption, security, basically, right? I'd build in encryption. The Trump FCC also canceled a formal inquiry seeking input from the country's best technical minds about 5G security, retracted an Obama-era white paper about reducing cyber threats, and questioned whether the agency had any responsibility for the cybersecurity of the networks they're entrusted with overseeing. So I thought this was a really good opinion piece in the New York Times by Tom Wheeler and worth just bringing up. It's important. You know, it's funny because we're in a trade war with China, so all of a sudden Huawei is the evil empire. And that's more, I think, about trade than security. But this stuff that really does matter, the market will take care of it.
Yeah.
So I just put up surgery without a landline in the chat.
Oh, great.
So the way you would
see it in the chat on the side.
Oh, great.
We'll see. No, I've seen studies about latency, and 5G does have great latency profiles.
Better, you think, than like Ethernet. Here is Dr. Leonid Rogoza. Oh, this is the Antarctic. Sir, he's actually performing surgery on himself, which is a little weird. The surgeon who removed his own appendix. The point being, Maybe someday, Antarctic doctors won't have to remove their own appendices.
Wasn't there a House episode about that?
Probably.
That feels
here's
very,
a question. I know if it's an appendix to a book that it's plural appendices, but if you had two human anatomy appendixes, would that be an appendices or appendixes?
It would just be a problem.
So there's a Krebs on Security writes about a weakness at GoDaddy that is being abused. It's actually a terrible weakness at GoDaddy, being abused by spammers. Do you ever get the sextortion spam I did where they say, hey, in the subject matter, your password is, and it was a password I had used long ago, and then the sextortion email goes on to say, I logged in, I logged into your system, got into your system, put some recording software on there and watched as you went to a porn site, and I'm going to send a video of you and the video you were watching to all your friends if you don't give me Bitcoin. Maybe you didn't get that one, Stacey.
Okay. I can't believe I'm admitting this. I've never been to a porn site. So
that's actually not the right answer to that particular spam.
So I wouldn't worry. I'd be like, they must be phishing me. But I feel really embarrassed to admit that.
No. I'm not surprised at all because you respect women.
There's porn for women?
Yeah, but it's always got women in it, doesn't it? No?
I don't know. I just know that
I've never been to a porn site. I wouldn't know myself.
Oh, yeah.
According to Krebs on Security, there was, I hope it's been fixed, a flaw in the way DNS was handled at GoDaddy that meant that anybody who was on the same DNS server as a major site, a well-known site, could commandeer that and use it to send spam. See, problem was, it's hard to send spam because most sites like Google's Gmail will block email that comes from an address that is not a known good address. It's gotten that bad. So they would use trusted domain names on GoDaddy to send out this spam. It's not exactly hijacking the domain. It's just using the domain's DNS server to send out the spam. So nasty. I hope GoDaddy's fixed it. That's all I can say. All right. I don't give enough props to the Trump administration, so I'm going to do it right now. The Open Government Data Act has been signed into law by the presidency. It requires federal agencies to default when possible to making data and metadata public, to publish that public data in a machine-readable format and catalog it online. It mandates that chief data officers be appointed at those agencies to handle the process. It was bipartisan. It flew, according to TechCrunch, through the House and Senate, mostly uncompromised. The Treasury is, yes, in fact, one of the agencies that will have to do this. These agencies are also now officially required to find and present evidence for any. This is actually the real reason this flew through, and this is the reason the president signed it, because he really wanted this one. Agencies have been in the past making regulations. This is something that really bothered Republicans, and now they won't be able to just kind of make their own regulations. They'll have to find and present evidence for any new policies or changes. I can't say that's such a bad thing, personally. So there you go. The Open Act.
They'll use that to.
I understand.
They'll use that to
turn back.
No, not just turn back,
environmental
but
regulations and so forth. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll just make it impossible to actually enact regulations because they'll design the studies that drive the data that's used.
Yeah. No, it's like Marco Rubio saying that the states shouldn't be allowed to do privacy laws because we'll do it. It sounds like on the surface of it, yeah, great if you do it. But the fact of the matter is, Marco's well known that there's no way we're going to do a privacy law in Congress.
You don't think so? I think we'll get one.
I think there'll start to be pressure, yeah. But I think here's the other story that is why I don't think so. Google, remember I just said Google has given, $7 million to Wikimedia over the last 10 years? Would you care to hazard a guess as to how much Google spends on lobbying Congress?
A bit more than they used to.
A little bit more. A little bit. $21.2 million last year. The most they've ever spent. And Facebook and Apple and everybody else. So that's one reason I wouldn't count on a privacy law in the United States. The reason we'll get one is the same reason Marco Rubio is sponsoring that bill, because they don't want California to make a stringent law as we have already. So the Rubio bill says any existing state laws are void, null and void. It should be a federal law. That makes sense, right? One law, not 50. But it's pretty clear that any federal law will end up.
I forgot this. I forgot. I got a little bit of news here.
Oh, good. What's your news?
Well, not huge. It's actually a little bit stale and old.
Oh, well, thank you for doing it. Yeah,
I know. I appreciate that. You appreciate that. What's his name? Oh,
Vic Gundotra.
Oh, no, it's not that. No. Sam Nunes.
Sam Nunes
put in I think it was he who put in a malicious deep fake prohibition act.
Ooh.
I think it was Nunes. Let me see who put it in. And so it prohibits anybody from making deep fakes. Well, Ben Sass. Sam Nunes is gone, right? Ben Sass. So he did it. Well, okay, but the problem here is who determines what's fake? What's satire? What's art? What's anything else?
Wait, don't you mean what's malicious?
Yeah.
Well, even then, how do you determine that?
So you're allowed to make non-malicious
deep fakes? Donald Trump, you're going to call it malicious,
That would be a violation of the First Amendment. So that's one thing the courts will have to decide.
Well, amen.
Is this an act of Congress to prevent free speech?
I think
that
that's
would
exactly
violate the First Amendment.
So it's jumping on the. Sorry, I haven't said it yet today, but moral
Gutenberg.
panic.
Every time he says moral panic, I'm going to say Gutenberg. I say moral panic, you say Gutenberg.
So any audiovisual record created or altered in a manner that the record would falsely appear to be a reasonable observer to be the authentic record or the actual speech or conduct of an individual.
Interesting.
Satire?
Falsely, I think that's key. Falsely appear to a reasonable observer to be authentic record. So, in other words, Alec Baldwin's impression of the president on Saturday Night Live, as much as the president hates it on that failing network.
Fakes me out.
You believe it?
I believe it.
Okay, the Steve Bannon, I thought it was maybe Steve Bannon for a while. But no. So I think that you could say a reasonable observer would know that that's satire. I think, this clearly is going to be an issue, right? It's possible to make videos now that look as real as can be of somebody saying and doing something he never did or she never did.
So this researcher called me about this, and so he told me about the bill. I didn't know it. He's French, and he knows more than I do. It hurts. But I looked up, and Photoshop came out in 1990.
Yeah. We never had a law. No.
We still get faked out. Yeah, people can do malicious things, but we pretty much
they can make their fingers longer. They can make their tummy slimmer.
I didn't say it. You said it. I didn't say it. You can't send those tweets to Leo, though, because he's not on Twitter, the chicken.
I would say we're still having a problem with Photoshop, though. I mean, we're having a resurgence of conversation.
But do we need a law to tell you can't do things? If you use it to fraudulently do something that is wrong, if you use it to sell somebody a Florida condo that doesn't really look like this,
but then
there's a law that says you're defrauding people.
Protected by laws against that. Yes,
right, exactly. Yeah.
So this is a kind of digital fraud. I don't know. This is.
Oh, I know. This is a violation of the First Amendment.
I have to say though.
Chev's like, I know. I got this.
I mean, aren't we? One of the things we're saying is let's start looking at these things and having a conversation about, stuff so that we can make appropriate laws. I mean, okay, maybe not. Maybe there's no.
So
way.
By the way,
no,
it says
that
so there is
what
clause.
saying.
Yeah.
paragraph 2,
Yeah.
First Amendment protection. No person shall be held liable under this section for any activity protected by the First Amendment in the Constitution of the United States.
Oh, well, that's
That's a
satire.
little circular
parody.
here. That's the entire act. Yeah. Speech. Stay out of my mouth, government.
Yeah.
Ben Sass.
Yeah.
Get out of here. Get off my lawn.
Get out of my lawn. Are you ready for a little changey loggy?
It's a little one, isn't
Google
it?
change log.
Here's a good one. Google has made a quiz called Jigsaw. Actually, this is from Jigsaw.
From Jigsaw, which is their wonderful do lots of good things division.
That hopes to teach you whether you're being fished. You want to take the quiz? Let's take the
Sure.
quiz. Okay. Snakey, you can take the... Oh, wait a minute. It wants my email and name.
Oh.
Okay, am I being
Make up a name or
fished?
email.
Am I being fished? Create a name and email. Oh, they don't have to be real. Okay, Stacy Jarvis Laporte.
I don't think so. I think Stacy's going to object to you there.
From and
I
my
prefer Leo
email.
Higginbotham.
My email should be.
Yeah, you don't know how to spell that.
I know how to spell Higginbotham with 2 T's. And the email should be mail at fanfinish.io. Okay. Now we're going to get started. Okay. Here we go. Let's start with this Google Doc email. Be sure to click checkout links by hovering. Oh, see, this is good. This is teaching you. Here, Luke Johnson shared a link to this, the 2019 department budget. Hey there, here's the doc you asked for. Let me know if you need. Yeah, let's just open it in Docs, right? Wrong. What's
Where
happening?
does it say wrong?
I don't know. Nothing's happening. I clicked it. I guess it's not live. It doesn't. You can't actually open it. No, shoot. I was hoping it would like steal my Google account and everything.
Oh, so do you pick phishing or legitimate?
Well, we don't know. I don't know, Luke. Wait a
What
minute.
is this quiz? No, you have to decide. Is this a quiz where you pick
That's
if
phishing
this is a
because it's
fish?
Luke JSON 8000. I don't trust him. Show me the answer. Mousing over this link, which didn't do anything, by the way, because I'm using Chrome, would show you that it goes to secure imitation domain drive -- Google. Okay. I see. I'm not getting. Aren't I supposed to get a pop-up here?
Yeah, if you click on it, does that help?
What isn't it? Did I?
Okay, but eFax is wrong, so just skip.
You've received a fax. We know you're
But
excited.
look
but
at
take
the
your time.
domain it's coming from.
Oh, EFACKS.com. Oh, you're smart. That's phishing. Yes, well spotted. As you saw, it's eFax. And the link actually points to mailru382.co. Yeah, anytime you see RU in there.
Oh, now it works. How come
No,
it didn't
that's
work
because I'm
before?
going through it. Yeah. Hey, do you remember this photo from TK867530?
No,
Remember-
fishing.
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 Why can't I
Just
hu-
fishing.
Danger,
just
danger,
wanna
Will Robinson.
hover.
Danger.
I just want to
Just
hover.
fishing.
Maybe I'm an edge. Am I an edge? Yes. No, I'm not. I'm in Chrome.
Just click fishing.
It points to Cytez.net, not Google Drive. Okay, right. By the way, all downloadable files should point to Google Drive, apparently. It looks like you're out of storage. I wonder what it costs to upgrade. Anyway, you get the idea. So that's...
Can I give you a real world example I have?
Yeah.
So I get this thing. It's to so a sign in attempt prevented. Hi, Jeff. Someone just tried to sign into your Google account.
Oh, yes.
Jeff, and then it's not at, it's the percentage sign, and then my domain at gtempaccount.com
Wow.
from an app that doesn't appear to meet modern security standards.
Wow.
Time, place. We strongly recommend that you use a secure app. Google stopped this sign-in attempt, but you should review your recently used devices. Click on this box. Now I mouse over the box.
See, that
And it
sounds like
appears-
that's all good, and they're like protecting you.
So it appears to go to accounts.google.com / a whole bunch of stuff,
Right.
but it's not, right?
Wow. And could you hover your mouse over it and tell? Is that how you knew?
Mistake?
Is that how you knew?
Well, no, that's the thing. It's accounts.google.com, so it looks like it's an okay place, but I can't be.
Why not?
I don't know, because I just don't trust this. It just doesn't feel right. You think this is real?
Yes.
You do?
Well, click it and see what happens.
Well, no, then I'm doing the.
You're hovering your mouse over it, and does it actually go to google.com?
It says https://accounts.google.com/account chooser ? Email equals blah 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 blah.
Are there 2 O's in Google or 3? I think
You
that
saying I
sounds
should
legit.
click on this?
Yes. I don't want to take
know.
responsibility for it, but
I don't know.
it sounds
scares me.
legit.
Get like ratted, basically.
Well, if it asks you to log into Google, don't. That, you should
Well,
instead.
what could happen if I click on this? What bad could happen?
Well,
if I just
okay,
click?
nothing for
You could
clicking.
download some.
Yeah,
well, if you
you're
click
right.
It,
It could
could
go-
start downloading
If
something.
your
but you
computer's not up to date and you have,
Well, I got Chrome.
vulnerabilities, You're probably all right. I think that
we'll laugh at you. That's what's going to happen.
that's what's going to happen. No, I think that where you want to, there is that potential that it'll take you to a malicious site, it'll download some malware on your system. But that seems like unlikely. What it would more likely be wanting to do is get you to give them your Google credentials. So if it pulls you to a Google site where you have to log in,
Should I click right now?
I don't know. What do you think? Chat room? Click or no click?
That's a game show.
Click or no click? This would be a fun show. Click
Would be.
or no click?
What does the chat room say?
Well, there's a little lag. No click.
Yes.
no click.
from Pac Northwest. Click it or ticket says Scooter X. Lawn Dog says
Dog,
click. Virgil, no click. 999, no click. Burke, click. Thank you, Burke. It's good TV. Click.
There are some lovely people who are telling you to cut and paste it into a notepad
That's
or
right.
text editor and then check.
That's right. You could go to
is
that
the
URL
safest
directly.
thing you could do.
Yes, that would be the safest thing to do. Go to a Google and make sure it's a real Google URL.
Well, if I'm going to the URL, it'll be the same thing, wouldn't it? What is that?
No, because we don't know if you're actually that's the problem is that what looks to be a correct URL may not be. So I would always say type, not even cut and paste, but type it in case there's Unicode or some sort of hidden stuff in there.
Oh,
So I
that's
just
true.
did a right click on it and save link as add session.html. No, that doesn't do it. No.
No, I would type it in by
A
hand.
copy link address.
No,
Okay.
type it in by hand.
It's very long.
Well, just type the first part.
Oh, I see. The accounts.google.
Yeah.
What did I say it was? Accounts.google.com.
We know that's real. And then type in and see if that you get, and when you log in with your real account, that they're sending that to. If you then get
Well, that's the security page. Yeah, that's the
no,
my
that's
account.
right. But that we'd expect that. That's why,
Right.
yeah. Anyway,
What did that accomplish? Smart asses. What'd that do?
the
It did
Google
nothing.
Assistant app is rolling out dark mode cards.
I hate dark mode.
Yeah, so
God,
does
how
Android.
I hate dark mode.
So does Android Police.
Oh,
Yuck.
I like dark mode.
Okay, see, it's something for everybody.
see, we got to disagree about everything.
One of the things dark mode does do, we should point out on OLED screens, not all phones have OLED screens, but if yours does, is it uses less power. So
We don't say OLED?
sometimes I say OLED so people know what I'm talking about.
No, this
We
is
do
a
say
Kamala
OLED.
or Kamala Harris situation where I'm like, oh, have I been saying it wrong the
Oh,
whole
I
time?
think we do say. I think we say OLED. I think we say OLED.
I can say OLED.
No. Sometimes I'll make weird choices on the air for clarity's purposes.
Ah, okay. So I will not take my.
You could say OLED. Well, the most best known example of this, the blurry. I don't. Why am I? I don't. Never mind.
Break it up.
Trust me. There are a few words that I mispronounce intentionally for purposes of clarity, or sometimes acronyms I will spell out for purposes of clarity.
Got it. Okay. Sorry. Back to changelog.
Google Chrome to support Windows mixed reality headsets. YouTube finally goes nation. This is the headline. I read this morning. I thought, YouTube finally goes nationwide almost 2 years after launch. Am I reading an old story? No, it's YouTube TV. And I didn't realize this because we got locals right from day one, but a lot of households haven't been able to get their local channels on YouTube TV. Now, 98% of U.S. households are covered as of today. The rest are coming soon. All top 100 U.S. markets have access to locals on YouTube TV. Sometimes there'll be a missing network because they haven't been able to make the deal. But in most cases, you'll get your locals, which is makes you. I think YouTube TV is great. I really, of all of the different over-the-top television solutions, I like them the best. I like the UI. I like knowing that all my information is going to Google. I like to keep it in the family.
So you can get your basic cables, your local broadcast, your basic cables, and then you can buy Showtime and Stars.
And get YouTube, and it's great. Lisa watches. We don't have. In the old studio we had DirecTV and a cable subscription. Here we don't. We decided I don't know who's going to. And then the football season comes, and Lisa says, "I want my football games." She can watch it on YouTube TV, which is awesome.
Oh, and can you watch? Oh, this is a question for son Jake. So he lives in Boston and doesn't want to get anywhere near the Pats. Wants to watch the Jets.
Yeah. You'd have
watch
to
the Jets
use
on this?
No. Well,
no.
Oh, that's an interesting question. Somebody asked me that. To my knowledge, YouTube TV will see where you are and show you the shows from where you are. But I'd love somebody to confirm that. So
if you try, you can always see if it works by trying to use it with a VPN.
Right.
And usually, if it detects a VPN, it'll flip out and not show you anything.
Right.
But usually, the blackout rules still apply.
Got it.
Yeah, I think that they're trying to honor the blackout rules.
But could you subscribe to like an MLB? Or wait, no, the Pats are football. Is there an NFL channel?
There is.
I'm sure there is, but it's expensive.
But blackouts, I think, are still. I don't know.
They're still affected.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh, you know what? That's right. Because my husband does the MLB, but he still sometimes can't see the Cardinals, which is a bad
It's very
thing.
frustrating. Yeah.
They were going to do away with that under Wheeler. There was a proposal, and look how that didn't happen. Anyway.
G Suite users, all of us are.
Oh, I got an email from them.
What did they say?
Right.
Something about Hangouts?
About Hangouts.
feel special.
Yes. Upcoming Hangouts service
Couldn't understand the
consolidation,
email.
which is always a bad sounding thing. Basically, this is the thing we've been talking about. They're moving you.
But I still don't understand what's going to happen.
Yeah, no one
Exactly.
does.
I
Even
didn't
Google.
either. Stacey, good. I'm glad I'm not alone.
They're moving you away
I
from the
glazed.
all-in-one Hangouts to Hangouts Chat and Hangouts Meet. Some changes later this year. We're going to transition all of you to that. But as a first step, some changes are coming in April. Something for administrators. Features from classic Hangouts will come to Chat. That's going to be the most interesting thing. How much of Hangouts ends up in Chat. And then in October, they'll start retiring Hangouts for G Suite customers. So this is...
Where is Chat?
Oh, that's not out yet. I don't know. No, I don't know.
I mean, like, I know where Hangouts is, but I don't know where Chat is.
Well, I think it's an app, right? You have to download it?
Yeah.
On my computer?
Yeah.
But I want...
Not
I want,
on your
this is from
computer. Oh, I don't know.
That's why I like Hangouts,
Yes.
because I'm on my computer.
So if you... Okay. Starting in
I use
April...
messages, not chat.
Starting April 16th, if you have classic Hangouts enabled, Chat will become available to you on the web and via mobile apps.
Oh. I don't want to download another freaking app. Oh, well, I guess I'd undownload Hangouts. Or I uninstall
So
Hangouts.
go to chat.google.com.
I don't want to go anywhere.
Okay. But if you
I'm
did...
sick. I'm cranky.
I don't want to go anywhere. I don't either. I don't blame you. And by the way,
All right.
maybe this is just in time. Google bans apps that promote or sell unapproved substances on the Play Store.
So chats.google.com can't be reached.
Not
it doesn't
yet.
exist yet.
Not yet.
What's the difference between chat and messages?
RSC. No, I don't know.
Yes. Rich Communication
really the
Systems
answer?
is not available, I don't think, on chat. Maybe it is. I don't know. No
Why
one
would I
knows.
use chat if I have messages? I don't know.
I don't know. No one knows. Google. Why I oughta.
Google.
And that's the Google changelog. Wasn't there a snake around here for a while?
Maybe one of us should call Google
Oh.
and try to figure this out.
He's not dead, is he? He's just sleeping.
Just don't move your monitor. I see the tongue. The tongue is moving
Is it?
I don't
Yeah.
see the tongue. I can't see anything.
on the left
I'm
of the
sad.
screen. I think so. That or it's a video thing. You be careful of the screen, Leo. It's wedged
The
in
snake
there.
is
I
real
don't-
happy.
Okay.
Don't hurt the snake.
I wouldn't hurt the snake. Let's take a break, and then we can wrap this thing up with your picks, unless I've missed any stories. If
Like
you
a python. We're going to wrap it like a python.
wrap it tightly and then choke the life out of it. That's kind of what we do here. I'm going to calm.com. I need that, and I bet you the snake will enjoy it because snakes are calm. Calm.com. Did you know that 80%, here's a stat, 80% of New Year's resolutions fail by February? You've probably already, put some by the wayside. I know I have. But even if your 2019 is off to a rocky start, every new day brings a new opportunity, new habits to support your best, happiest, healthiest self. That's why I am bringing you today Calm.com, the #1 app to help you meditate, sleep, and relax. #1 app. App of the Year by Apple in 2017, part of Apple's Best of 2018. I've been a subscriber for some time, and I love it. It's more than just meditation. It's meditation, but it's also sleep stories. It's also music. There's a master class that will give you specific bits and pieces, like the power of rest and gratitude and mindful eating, the 4 pillars of health. This is so cool. You can do it in the web. You can do it on your phone. In fact, as I mentioned, the iOS app is beautiful. There's an Android app as well. Relieve anxiety. You got a little flight anxiety? Oh, I wish they had one for bridges, Jeff. Oh,
Yeah.
Let me see if they have a bridge one.
Jeff, you're anxious about bridges too?
You
didn't
are
know
as
that?
well, Stacy?
Oh my God, I hate driving over. When I came to Petaluma that one time, it took
What are
me
you
over
going to
the
do in
Bay Bridge,
Seattle?
and I almost
Stacey,
died.
there's bridges in Seattle.
Yeah, I know, but they're not
I'm more
like
freaked
terrible
out
bridges.
by the fact that I've never met anybody in my life who was afraid of bridges until I met Jeff, and now I'm actually working with both of them.
Yeah, I have a fear of heights, and it transcends to bridges when I'm on a high bridge.
Well,
I
bet you.
suspension bridges. I can do a low bridge. I'm okay. I can do a highway across, but a suspension. the Golden Gate Bridge is a nightmare.
Yeah.
But worse than that is the Bay Bridge because it actually
Yes.
fell.
And
I'm
I'm
not
pleased
crazy.
to introduce this series
See,
on
I need
overcoming
calm.
flight anxiety.
I need it right now.
Every day,
That is
hundreds
true.
of thousands of people board a plane with a clenched jaw and a racing heart.
don't have
If you're
your
one
heart
of
racing.
them, you know how unpleasant air travel can
Don't
be.
you love the
when you're
image,
wrapped
too, of the mountains and the water?
Yeah.
Wait, as soon as you go to calm.com, you get calmer, don't you? There's now something new, the Daily Calm. We're going to set you up with Calm Premium for 25% off. You get the Daily Calm every day, more than 100 guided meditations, every area of your life, including anxiety, focus, stress, sleep, relationships. You get all those sleep stories. I love the sleep stories. They've got Stephen Fry. They've got Matthew McConaughey. You get them all the sleep stories with Premium. I just think this is a great, lovely, wonderful
Y'all, it
thing
asks
to
for
do.
my top goals, so I'm signing up for it right now.
Want to be able to drive across a bridge. You also
And that
get
is that is not a goal. It's not an
exclusive-
option.
Listen to the music tracks too. There's music on here designed for focus and relaxation and sleep, and it just doesn't get boring because there's new music all the time. The master classes, there's new ones every month. You're going to get everything for the premium subscription. Let's play some calming music here. How about, I wonder if the snake will enjoy this beautiful reef sound. This week in Google listeners, 25% off a Calm premium subscription at calm.com/twig. Give yourself the calm gift of calm and a happy and healthy 2019. calm.com/twig. I want to read some stuff for them.
I was just thinking, you should
I want to
do it.
read some
You can
stuff.
do that.
I put people to sleep every day. I want to do that. How about a symphony of rain? I love this. So I'm always looking for music, background music I can play for focus. Whoops, clicked the wrong link. And there's a ton of it on here, which I really like. calm.com. It was a big deal when I discovered this. Oh, do you want to? Oh, what would a snake like? A waterfall, a thunderstorm, Oh, I know what a snake
Oh no,
would like.
Barry White. Remember that Simpson episode?
How about a purring cat?
Dinner.
You think that makes a snake hungry or sleepy?
I think it would be excited and try to eat it. If it's hungry.
No, I think he's relaxed. Look at the snake.
Yeah, the snake is clearly very relaxed.
For a limited time, get 25% off a Calm premium subscription at calm.com/twig.
Pretty amazing the snake found a cave.
Yeah. Animals are amazing that way. I read an article that said that cats are much happier if they have a box to get into.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah, you know
Love
that.
boxes.
Everybody does that.
Yeah, my dog loves, like, she'll find the smallest space and try to climb. Like, she climbs under the Pilates reformer when she's in here. She's just like, can I be under the bed?
Yeah.
Can I be in a kennel?
Yeah,
Can I be
because it's
somewhere
safer.
tiny?
Yeah. I want AOC's Twitter training. Is she going to make this into a class? Was in session this morning. Is that Ted Lieu right behind her? I was thrilled to offer some
This
insights.
she did this about a week ago. This is the greatest.
There's Deb Dingell.
AOC. I went to see AOC Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez at Martin Luther King Now Day at the Riverside Church in New York, where Ta-Nehisi Coates interviewed her.
Oh, I would love to have seen that.
And she's
Is
so
she impressive?
impressive.
Is she impressive?
She's so impressive because people think that she's going to be some kind of firebrand. Politico had a headline about 3 Democrat firebrands on the House Oversight Committee. She's not a firebrand. She's extremely calm.
And smart.
As my analysis said when I wrote it, my McLuhan analysis, she's cool.
So just to put this in perspective, Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, has 2 million Twitter followers. AOC, a 29-year-old freshman congressperson, has 2.4 million followers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by the way, I love this tweet. These are all the people in her training session on Twitter for Democratic members of Congress. The picture below is called a selfie. We coined a term for that on Sunday on Twitter. It's called millsplaining. Millennial explaining. Millsplaining. We need it. We need more millsplaining.
She is brilliant.
Stacey, your long nightmare is almost over. We're about to wrap it up, but we can't go unless you give us something.
Oh.
Pick anything.
Something. Give us anything.
Give us something.
This is kind of a silly pick, but it fits with your calm thing. I found this account on Twitter, and it makes me so happy. It is, what is it called? It's at Hourly Fox. Every hour, it tweets a picture of a fox, and I love it. It makes
Stacey's definitely in a lowered mentality mode.
Would you send me, Stacey? You can send me your Twitter followers, right? You can the people you follow. Can you send me that list so I can follow who you follow? I could do that, right? I create a new account called Stacey's List.
Right.
And then I just go to I go to Giga Stacey, her Twitter account, and then I go to who she's following, and then I just add every one of those. Oh.
That would take. I'm following a lot of people.
Are you?
I follow 1,500 people.
Oh, I was like much more than that. That's probably why
why I
I hate
use
Twitter
this.
so much. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you can export them, I mean, a lot of them are lovely, and some of them are just people, like normal people.
For the purposes of the show, I do have a kind of a Twitter account so I can show Twitter and stuff like that. I guess I should do the same for Facebook.
Well, and your clever wife snuck you onto Facebook.
Yeah.
Made me happy.
All the time. She's posting pictures of me.
Made me very happy.
Which picture?
I should also. So here's my shameless plug.
Yes.
I Marie Kondoed all my devices.
Yay.
Last week.
No.
So
Which one's
I wrote a
sparked joy?
story. So, and that's exactly what the post I wrote was about. So if you go to Stacey on IoT, you will see my story about. Normally, I don't like shamelessly promote my stuff, but this is actually something
you
a
should.
lot of you guys
Should.
could benefit from.
When Marie Kondo meets the smart home. Now, this pile is not yet sorted.
This pile is sorted now. That's that was me throwing, and I realized, and I said there for anyone who's going to fact check me, because I know people will, there are lots of connected devices that did not make it into that pile because I don't have boxes for
You'd
them.
have to
or they were-
disconnect them.
Well, I put boxes in to represent them.
Can I give you some Google portals? I mean, Facebook portals? I'd like to give them to you.
No.
It'd be my
No, I'm
pleasure.
good.
It'd be my gift to you.
I'd rather have the snake.
They no longer spark joy. The snake doesn't spark much either. He's just sitting there. All right, cool. That's by the way, Stacy's website, Stacy on IoT.
If you don't like my Fox tweets, which I think are
I
wonderful.
like your Fox tweets. Look at, there's a little snake tail right there. What happens if I touch a snake's tail? I'm getting creeped out.
Well, what do they think what the snake feels like?
Yeah, right.
It's like, I'm moving.
He says, I'm pulling that in. That's going away. Now
Do
it's
snakes pee and crap? Is that snake crap?
this one's
They
molting.
excrete.
This one's molting. So there's
So you're going to have snake flakes in your computer fan.
Yeah, there's snake flakes. Snake flakes. Jeff Jarvis, your number of the week.
So after having been calmed down, thanks to Calm, I'm also calmer about the EU right now.
Are you? No.
Because the dreadful new copyright law and Articles 11 and 13 is on life support. 11 countries would not agree to compromise language, and it's back to the drawing board and maybe nowhere from there. Hallelujah!
It hit a brick wall. However, I was like you, joyful about that until I read that most of the reasons the member states didn't like it was it didn't go far enough. Then I thought, this isn't really something to celebrate.
Europe! Newman! But right now I feel calm about this.
Good. You should feel calm.
You can look at pictures of foxes and feel even better.
So
Julia
calm.
Reda is great.
So calm.
She's a member of the European Parliament who's been fighting this battle.
So she is against 11 and 13.
Yes. She's been.
These are
She's very.
I refer you to
Hierarchy,
earlier
EFFE.
episodes where we talk about this, but these would really be damaging to the internet.
Yes, amen.
Good. I didn't bring you anything today. I'm sorry.
You brought us a snake.
I brought you a snake.
Yeah, the snake is pretty cool.
That is my show and tell for the day. The snake answers to either Snakey McSnakeface or Sheila.
I bet it doesn't really answer to anything.
It doesn't answer to nothing.
Well, it's a damn snake. I don't have to answer to
but
you.
it has found its new home here in the Twit Studios.
Well, here's a little breaking news.
Uh-oh.
BuzzFeed to lay off 15% of staff.
Oh,
Verizon's going to lay off 800.
Who is?
In
Verizon?
its media business. Verizon,
Yeah.
Oath.
From Oath?
Is it Oath?
We didn't talk about the
a lot on the streets.
BuzzFeed story that got them in a little bit of hot water. They claimed they had two law enforcement sources that said, I've forgotten now, something about Cohen and Trump.
That Trump told Cohen
Trump
to lie.
told Cohen to lie.
To lie to Congress. And then, in unprecedentedly, Mueller's office issued denial. They said that's inaccurate.
But BuzzFeed stood firm.
by it. Is this another
There's two
one of those
stories out there. There's a McClatchy story about Cohen going to Prague that no one else has managed to replicate, and there's this story that no one's managed to replicate, but they're sticking by it, and we'll see because the denial was
qualified.
I don't know. I can't tell.
It was a little qualified.
Well, it was limited.
Yeah. So, and you're right. As soon as there's a report, we'll know if we see the report. But,
if we see the report, we may not see the report.
So I guess the reason I brought that up is BuzzFeed a journalistic entity? It's kind of is and kind of isn't, right?
Well, there's two parts of BuzzFeed. There's BuzzFeed and BuzzFeed News. And BuzzFeed News, run by Ben Smith, is most definitely a journalistic entity, and they do superb work.
He's a long-time investigative
list.
reporter with a great reputation.
Very good reputation, yes.
But it is a little bit tarnished, the name BuzzFeed, because BuzzFeed, Jonah Peretti's BuzzFeed seems to be all about,
Yeah, and I thought it was going to get past that, but it really has.
It can't.
But the bigger story here is that we lost Mike and we lost Upworthy pretty much.
Right. Now BuzzFeed's
I was talking to somebody
recently
who said there's going to be more blood on the street. We have not been honest about the failure of the business models in media, and it's worse than we're admitting. And everybody thinks paywalls are going to save us. Conde just said they're putting everything behind a paywall. All God's children think their mothers told them wonderful. They should be paid for. Ain't gonna work, folks. Ain't gonna work.
Is this Facebook's doing?
No.
No, it's digitization.
It's just a general trend that's been going on all along. And Facebook maybe gave them a little life support for a little while with linking.
Exactly. Pivot to video.
Yeah.
Squirrel.
But it wasn't enough or isn't enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Plans to lay
do you
off
think
15% of its workforce, according to a memo sent to staff this evening.
Do you think Craigslist actually did more to hurt journalists?
Probably, right? They hurt the classifieds.
Full disclosure, as I'm sitting here at the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism, thanks to my friend Craig, no. If it were not for Craig, the internet itself would have brought buyers and sellers together. There were all kinds of other services like Monster and Jobs. Realtors went direct. Auto dealers went direct. Craig was just the smartest first person to figure this out, but it was inevitable. Absolutely
inevitable. Also, can I just point out this last paragraph?
Oh, it is the media group that Verizon's doing the 800 layoffs from.
Oh,
sorry.
That's Oath.
Looked it up to check.
That's what they call it, Oath. Used to call it. Now it's the media group. I do want to point out this last paragraph in the New York Times article. BuzzFeed generated $300 million in revenue in 2018, a 15% jump from previous year, but it still loses money.
Yeah.
How much does how much does the New York Times generate? I mean, that sounds like a lot of money is, I guess, the point I'm making.
Let's see. What was their revenue
How many
last
reporters
year?
do they have?
Their revenue last year was $1.676 billion.
Oh, all right. A lot more. 5 times
Gannett
more.
was $3.1 billion. Advanced Publications, $2.4 billion. My old employer.
It's expensive to run a media empire.
Yeah. Yeah.
See,
it's a sucky business.
My revenue is not that big, but we don't lose money. So I don't understand the whole thing.
Hello, Viacom. He's a good buy. You can get him. Like a snake, you can come in and open your mouth wide and swallow up Twit and give him a happy retirement.
It's already starting. Actually, this is Ouroboros. I think he's eating his tail. Ladies and gentlemen, we now conclude this thrilling episode of This Week in Google. I thank you so much, Stacey Higginbotham. Everybody must go to StaceyOnIoT.com, subscribe to her newsletter, listen to her
It'll
podcast.
make her feel better from her bad cold.
Send her good wishes
Everybody
on Twitter.
subscribe.
Little pictures of little small furry animals. Just bombard her with that.
Oh, that would be nice. Send me cute animals, not being eaten by other animals, please.
No snake pictures neither. Stacey on IoT. There is the website.com. Stacey is absolutely one of the smartest people on.
The best.
Really always a thrill to have you on telling us old guys what's up, what's what. Mill-splaining it all.
I'm not a millennial.
Oh, what are you, Gen X?
I don't even exist for all intents and purposes. I am a Gen X. I am a Gen Xer.
Okay. Us baby boomers over here.
Boomers.
We're just, for us,
all our fault.
Anybody
Everything
under
wrong,
50s,
we did it.
A millennial. We messed it all up and left it here for you. That's Jeff Jarvis. He is the Leonard Tao Professor for Journalistic Innovation at the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at the City University of New York, and the Director of the Tao Knight Center for Entrepreneurial Journalism at the Craig Newmark Graduate School of Journalism at the City University of New York. Thank you very much. BuzzMachine.com, at Jeff Jarvis on the Twitter. Stacey's at Giga Stacey, by the way. So we'll give you both Twitter plugs. Really a pleasure. I am thrilled that you didn't get to go to Davos. Just think how cold it would be.
It would be very cold, yes.
It wouldn't be fun.
It would be so late at night.
It'd be middle of the night.
And I'm clearly not.
You know how late that is when I do that? When I did that from Davos? Oh, my Lord.
You did it from the cafeteria one year. And
no, I did it from the press room.
Press room.
And I did it once when they were vacuuming in the main hall. I did it there one year.
Yeah, I remember that one. That was funny.
Yeah.
They were vacuuming behind you. I'm glad.
Poor Stacey looks like she's about to collapse.
No,
sorry,
Stacey. Do you have an alcoholic cure for colds? Is there tequila, vodka, gin?
No.
Red wine. Red wine, I think, is a good thing.
I usually put a tablespoon of whiskey in my hot honey water before bed, but that's it.
Okay.
But not like real alcohol, because that'll just make you worse.
Thank you for joining us. We do This Week in Google every Wednesday. I'm being calm now. Every Wednesday about 1:30 Pacific, 4:30 Eastern, 21:30 UTC. If you'd like to watch live, you can at twit.tv/live. Now I'm sounding like Bob Ross. We've got.
Well, now you're trying out for a job at Com.
Yeah, right. We've got puffy little chatters at irc.twit.tv. And you can go in there and chat along with them as you watch or listen live. But if you don't want to do that, we always can get you on-demand versions of every show we do at twit.tv/twig, or subscribe in your favorite podcast application. And you'll get a puffy little podcast available the minute it's finished.
I thought they were fluffy.
Fluffy little puffy podcasts. Oh, I could do it like Barry White. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We'll see you next time on This Week in Google. Bye-bye.